Survival House Network.
And don't like the brags, I don't like the boast. They like hot butter on the breakfast toast. Watching flicks, talking chicks, I like to motorboat. Can Riverman make it, yo, a check? Nope. So look at all these movies I got. Commenting like, should we watch them or not? And I know they just be acting for cash, but I still got one question to ask. Like, why'd he do that, do that, do that? If that was me, I'd be like, screw that, screw that, screw that. I'm an alpha, I'd eat through that, through that, through that. So why'd he do that, do that, do that?
What's up, gang? BTM Podcast. We're back with a commentary, of course. Zach, I'm frustrated as shit, so tell him what we're going to do for this next month.
We're doing fucking classics month, baby. The best of the best. Some of our favorites, baby. See, at the beginning of the year, at the end of last year, I was like, I want to make next year, the fucking year we do all the classics. Now we're doing it, like halfway through the fucking year. Isn't it wonderful?
All right, calm down a second, please. Explain to him what constitutes a classic, like what qualifies to be a part of this month.
If you don't fucking know, what the fuck you listening for? We're doing the best of the best. We're doing fucking some of our favorite. We're doing Back to the Future right now, baby.
So when you said classic month, it wasn't exactly. I didn't figure it the way you summed it up. I figured because the movies you told me, Zach gave me a list of films. One of them, Back to the Future. The other movies were in line with kind of Back to the Future stature. And I'm thinking, oh, you mean classic as in commercial favorites. These are the movies that everybody likes and everybody can sort of bond over, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with that said, the movie is just
they
a tad.
Don't gotta be just some of our favorites, baby.
Okay, I'm confused. Okay, so now I'm totally lost because this motherfucker pitched doing Star Wars, and I fucking hate Star Wars, and I
hate Star Wars too.
But you said classics, like I thought we were talking about a general sense of classic of what society as a whole.
That was just that wasn't part of this. I was just like, we should do fucking everything people like, the things that'll get us hits.
Okay, I was kind of on board with that because I don't want to necessarily do movies that I love. Like I love Back to the Future. It's almost kind of installed into your brain that you like it. It's not a movie I think about. It's not a movie that I list like, oh, because it's a given. Like, oh yeah, of course I like Back to the Future. But I thought we were going to do movies like you had brought up E.T. or somebody did. And I don't like E.T., but I was like, we could do E.T. Right?
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were doing for this month.
We can.
I think that's what we should do because and when you said Back to the Future, that falls into that category, right? Because it's one of those movies, even though we both love it. So I personally think that's what we're going to do this month. Zach, is that cool if we try that?
I guess.
Oh, look at you. You're all deflated now.
Well, yeah, I wanted to do fucking our favorites. And now you're like, oh, let's do classics that other people like.
Zach, you wanted to do your favorites.
Exactly. I don't give a fuck what you like.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been fighting tooth and nail to do classic Universal Monsters month for I don't know how fucking long.
I told you I'd never seen those fucking things.
So watch them, man. Why do I gotta be the odd man out all the time?
Exactly.
You always gotta throw out these fucking crazy ass random shot on video fucking tape movies that of course I've never seen. I've never seen any movies you watch.
It's because you suck.
So let's figure it out right now. What are we doing for this month? Let's meet in the middle and call it what I thought it was.
We don't have to tell them what we're doing for the rest of the month anyway. What the fuck? We're doing Back to the Future right now.
No. You were like, hey, let's establish a month. You were dead set on that, man.
Oh, was it?
Dude,
no fucking words in my mouth.
You were set on it. So let's do that. That's going to be the theme for the next month. I don't want to sit there and cater to Zach and just do his favorite movies. I think we should go with the idea that I assumed it was, and classics as far as the popcorn classics like everybody likes, and we can kind of look at them objectively. I was kind of looking forward to doing movies like E.T. that I never really liked, and it's like maybe through a different lens, this would be a great movie, for example, to do a commentary for because I can talk over it. I've seen it a number of times, so it's not like I'm going to lose anything by talking over it, but maybe I could still get something out of it if I rewatch it that way. That's kind of what I had my heart set on.
All right, that's what we're doing, baby.
All right. I'm sorry. I would have, because prior to recording, I was fighting, hey, can we do Dracula? It'd be a fun change of pace to do than old black and white movie or whatever. And
I said we could do that. I asked you what to do that instead of this.
I know. Well, after we decided we were doing this, after I agreed to do this, regardless, I'm like, all right, well, I'll do this because I was going to don't know, go your way on it, but I don't know when the last time I got to pick a movie was. So it's like I think we should. Why do we have to? Why do we have to pick something? Let's do it like that. Let's do the.
Okay.
Tell you what, Back to the Future's coming out regardless. You guys can tell us how you guys want it to go. We'll put it in your hands. Do you want us to do Zach's all-time classics, or do you guys want to do sort of the general populations?
I only showed you one movie. Like how do you know I wouldn't have gave you your classics?
You made a whole. All right.
Where's my list? What's my list?
Dude, you're gonna have you're gonna have Munchie on that motherfucker. You're gonna have fucking Critters. Yeah,
Critters is a classic.
Okay,
we've already done Critters though.
I know you have, but it's not. Come on, I know what you like.
Good shit. Thanks shit.
But okay, so how about that's the meeting in the middle? We let people decide after this one the direction of the next month. Is it general consensus popcorn classics and we can kind of watch them objectively, or is it Zach's classics or whatever, or our classics? I'll leave it in your guys' hands. But let's go and get this started because this is 2 hours long and I am kind of fucking exhausted. I'll get into why. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, hell yeah. Fucking flat earth not showing up, fucking exposed. They're fucking lying.
So hopefully we can hopefully this goes by fast. It's a good movie. It has I don't have any doubts that it will drag or anything like that. It's not going to drag.
How do you think those flat ring or those smoke rings go around the flat earth though?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm tired, man. I'm coming off a 4-day fast. So I'm a little cranky.
You haven't eaten in 4 days?
I've only water fasted, just water. 2 gallons of water, copious amounts every day.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's a health thing.
It sounds unhealthy.
No, it's actually healthy if you research it. It's actually healthy.
Oh, where do I gotta look at this? Is this fucking the Alternative Facts website?
No, man, just look up. There's all sorts of subculture and websites and studies on fasting. I've been an intermittent. Fuck me, man. See, by the way, me stuttering words like that, I'm noticing things like that happening because I am deprived of food.
Exactly. It's not healthy.
No, it is, man. And like I said, I've been into intermittent fasting for a couple of years now. So somebody that wasn't used to even doing that, I wouldn't say jump right into 3 or more days. Don't do it. You have to work up to it.
I thought 3 days is like how long you go before you start starving to death.
No, dude. Like people fast for long ass times. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's kind of a biblical thing, Ew. So no, but there was reports. If you look at studies and things like that, people that starve themselves to death, they typically start peeling over. There's been cases of people doing it like in the early 20s days wise, but most people it's like going like a month without food, 30 something days.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. You're thinking water, dude. You can't go a few days without water. Right.
Yeah.
But
you gonna try that next?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Look, that fucking toast is burnt. What a fucking asshole. Doc Brown. He doesn't even fucking make sure his fucking, his Pee-wee thing doesn't make the right toast.
How are we supposed to trust his time machines if he can't fucking build a toaster that, does its job?
Exactly. What the fuck is wrong with him? Pee-wee Herman could do it.
I know, and he's a fucking little kid, man.
Yeah, exactly. He jacks off in movie theaters.
So, but no, it's good though. But let me finish the fasting thing really quick because the water fast, some people fast a different way. Some people say you can have black coffee, straight black coffee and things like that. Anything that's non-caloric. But and some, most studies say, well, that kind of fast will be fine for fat loss. But if you want the total body cleanse and you want to, do cell repair and things like that, you want to even get rid of all stimulants. You just want to do water. So, and I feel great.
Doesn't your body cleanse yourself every time you take a shit?
You'd think, man, but trust me, after 4 days of not eating, man, you should have seen the shit that was coming out of my ass.
It's because your body's fucking trying. It's probably fucking eating some of your organs to give you something to shit out.
Well, no, you're kind of like half right because your body goes into a state of eating itself, essentially, right? You go into ketosis and you do this whole thing, but not eating itself in a bad way. It starts purging like I said, it goes through and clears out the dead cells, and it purges and it starts burning your fat for energy. So the thing is really, after the first day, I think is typically probably the hardest. I guess it depends on who you ask. And then you kind of get used to it, right? Like I'm not as hungry as I should be, right? It's like, it just gets easier. And that's because, like I said, you start drawing energy from your stored fat, which that's where the fat loss comes from and all that stuff. And all of a sudden you're awake and your focus is attentive. You're concentrating better on work and whatever it is you have to do.
You just stutter like you were earlier.
I did find myself doing that a little bit, but you can't do it's only if I find myself doing too much physical work, right? So during a fasting time like that, you don't want to go to the gym and lift weights and shit. You don't want to do that. And
oh, you say no, I say go for it. That'd be fucking hard to see how hard you could fucking pass out. That'd be donk.
So I tried doing it a little bit, just going very light, and I used a sauna, just some relaxing stuff, dude. That made me realize how, deprived I was, and that made me feel dizzy. But then when I got over that, I was fine again. And the hunger pangs happen.
Like if I get in the shower and take a hot shower and it's all steamy right after I ride the bike, like for exercise, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna lightheaded. I'm gonna pass out.
I got a question. Is that always been the case, or is that, since you've lost all the weight?
I stopped doing it because I just noticed it was happening. I did it like once or twice.
Okay, but was it both occasions during like recent times?
Like months, like while I was still kind of heavy.
Okay.
Heavier.
I was saying you might just want to make sure you're eating enough. So we're coming off fresh from Crypticon. We were there was it last weekend or is it the weekend before? I can't even keep track.
Yeah, like I felt like a fucking, I think it's last weekend, but it seems like I've barely had any time to do anything since I came home.
Yeah, it was last weekend, and so we're coming off of that, and it was great. Zach was there, Riverman was there. It was a good time. It went by fast, as that stuff always does.
I told them whenever we finally met, I was like, hey, I used to be an AI, but the Illuminati, created me to be a real boy so that, the fucking charade wouldn't be fucking ruined.
Well, it's, what's funny is you totally lifted the veil yourself, because we did a lot of things that weekend, and one of the things we did was we guested on some other folks' podcasts that are on the Boom Howdy network. Fun fact, that's a big website that tried to, poach and take us. They tried to take our podcast and get us to
back in the day,
serve another master. How dare them? No, they're great people, and the guy that runs it's a great dude. I just respectively decline because we like doing our own thing. Can you imagine, Zach, if we were under somebody else's website like that? Because they are a website that does rely on ads, right? They're your typical fucking comic nerdy horror movie website. I'm not to put them down, but it's pretty run of the mill, right? And all those websites operate off ad revenue. Can you imagine them coming down on us being like, hey, that's that guy. He can't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Party people. Hey, look, fucking, this is the only movie where his girlfriend's played by this chick, Claudia Wells. I wonder if there's any relation.
She's got a...
Fuck, I just doxed myself. I've never done that on the show.
Oh, you got to let it go. Just let it go. She kind of looks like Sean Young.
Hell yeah.
She looks like a cross between Sean Young and Elizabeth Perkins from Big and the Flintstones. You know her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They look alike anyway.
Yeah, but she's kind of somewhere in the middle. Like if Sean Young was the start of the origin of the species and Elizabeth Perkins was the end monkey, she's like that missing link.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way I can put it.
And then Elizabeth Shue took her place in the sequels.
She was a beautiful woman as well back in the day, of course.
Mm-hmm. I want to lick his bald head, just like start his fucking forehead and just all the way back to the fucking neck rolls.
So this guy got totally typecast. What do you think he felt like when he got the role in Problem Child 1 and 2 as a fucking another teacher / principal school figure, right?
Exactly. He's a fucking dyke.
He got Reginald VelJohnson is what happened.
Mm-hmm. And we got fucking
Huey Lewis. I feel weird about just spurting off the facts of this movie because I feel like that's played out. Like there's so many YouTube videos and so many forms of factoid shit out there that talk about this movie. I mean, everybody's talked about that's Huey Lewis. et cetera, et cetera. So I feel weird about bringing up the same old shit, but we can. You never know. If
we can point out the stuff we noticed. Yeah, I was going to say that we were talking over. What the fuck was Barty thinking with that amp scene anyway? How the fuck he turned it all the way up? And then did he have a fucking metal guitar pick? That wouldn't sound good.
No.
Like, you're just asking for that shit to blow up.
Yeah.
Fuck boy.
Mayor Goldie Wilson, man. He's one of my heroes.
Oh, yeah. I'd suck his dick.
He's the American dream, man. He went from fucking bussing tables at a diner to the mayor. He represents what we can do in this fine country of the US of A. You know, hey, Marty McFly, man, I met his crony last weekend at Crypticon, Skippy. You know, Mark Price.
Hell yeah.
From Trick or Treats. And he was fucking selling Skippy t-shirts of him and Marty McFly.
Fucking?
Yeah, fucking. No, he was selling.
I would have bought it.
He was selling Family Ties t-shirts with him and that he had made up himself. I don't think they said Family Ties. Oh, I think it said, it was some kind of play on words, like back in this year, Republicans and Democrats could get along because, you know, Marty McFly on that TV show, he was a young Republican and Skippy. I don't know if he was ever portrayed as a Democrat. I don't remember too much of the show, to be honest. But anyway, it made me wonder. I'm like, so is he allowed to sell merchandise with Michael J. Fox on it? Is that legit?
I don't know.
I mean, where does
pop culture, I guess.
But where's the line drawn there, right? Because we know lots of people like T-Shirt Joe, our friend T-Shirt Joe. He was there as well. His whole business is screen printing T-shirts, and he screen prints all kinds of fucking movies and logos that aren't his.
Yeah, our copyright laws are fucking stupid. Like, back when they originally came out, they were only like, oh yeah, up until like 100 years after the person dies, it's in public domain. And everybody can do whatever they want with it. And then people are like, no, fuck that. And now Disney, they lobby to fucking make sure, like, oh, it's not only that, it's like fucking, hundreds of years after. And then you could renew it and get another. It's fucked up. It's
so Swiss cheese the way it works. But part of me thinks maybe it's just some people get away with it because they're so small fish comparatively. You know, like, do you really think Marty McFly is going to bed at night thinking about what Skippy's up to?
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
He's worrying how he's going to handle his next shake, right? His next tremor. He probably hasn't thought about Mark Price in fucking decades. So the fact that it's probably one of those things where he just thought about doing it and didn't think about the repercussions, and no one's ever going to find out. People are just going to give him cash money. Same thing with all these screen printing. So when you look at Fright Rags, for example, I believe they have official seals all over the place, right? I think they work out deals.
They get the license and stuff.
Part of me thinks people like T-Shirt Joe or most indie screen printers, they just kind of do it under the radar and no one says anything because it's not worth anybody's time.
Yeah, and it's fucking petty to get pissed off about stuff like that. Well, I guess you could. You would be in the right, technically, but you just look like an asshole.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so you go on a website like T-Shirt Joe's, fastcustomshirts.com. Check that out. And
we talked to him at the fucking con. He still has our original fucking BTM logo, babe.
He does. So I'm not gonna hound him about it. I asked him about it at the con. He said, yeah. He's like, I save everything. And he told me to email him on Monday. And he would get it to me. And I emailed him, and he responded back, and he said, yeah, it's in one of my many hard drives, and as soon as I can find it, I'll send it over. You know, what am I gonna do? Hound him about it?
Dog.
But I'm saying, like, it's one of those things that he might never do.
He's a good motherfucker.
He's a good motherfucker, but you know what I mean? It's one of those things that he might never get around to.
Yeah, he could forget. Yeah, we don't know.
And I don't want to, like, keep hounding him, you know? I feel like I've...
But you'll be nothing but a fucking hound dog. What are you going to do then?
Yeah.
Crying all the time and shit.
I have a feeling if he doesn't get it to us, you know, maybe if I see him at another con, it'll like spark a light bulb. Like, oh yeah, I got to get that to you. So it is what it is. I hope we can get it back because I love that original BTM design, and I'd love to be able to print new t-shirts off of it because it's killer because Riverman lost the one he gave us already. You know, he's not obligated to send us this again, right? It's kind of our bad for losing it. So whatever. If he does, he does.
Never trust a Riverman.
Yeah, exactly. You can't trust him. So...
Oh yeah, you got to notice, like, oh, you see how his life is now. It's dramatically different at the end of the movie when he changes all this shit. But you know that because you see this great movie. This is an amazing movie.
Yeah, huh? We got Donald Trump right there. Was it confirmed that he was based off Donald Trump?
Yeah, in part 2 with all the fucking the Biff Tower and all that shit. Yeah.
Well, you can even assume that maybe they had that idea in this movie by giving him that fucking haircut, or maybe that was such a generic cliche haircut of the day anyway, and they didn't think,
comb over. Yeah.
Maybe it was just coincidence. Like, hey, he already kind of looks like Donald Trump. Let's go ahead and do this.
Will you look at that butthead? Say hi to your mom for me.
That's the greatest line in the movie. I fucking love that line. I don't know why.
Say hi to your mom for me. His mom was fucking hot. I would have fucked his mom.
Dude,
if I went back in time and I saw Lay Thompson look like that, I'd have fucked my mom.
So what's funny is in this timeline, he's sitting there saying that shit to him, like, say hi to your mom for me, almost like, antagonistically. And in this timeline, he still tried to rape his mom. Or wait, in this real timeline, did the rape happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Marty McFly never went back in time to encourage his dad and give him confidence to knock Biff out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in real life,
but back then he would have got hit by the car, so maybe like he just caused that to happen. But it was just something that.
Do you think the getting hit by the car thing and Marty even showing up in the past, that just created a butterfly effect and everything would have been different, including the near rape scene? Maybe that never happened.
Probably, yeah.
But the whole movie kind of violates what you'd think about time travel. It really does, because there's no butterfly effects in this movie besides the whole him fading away in the pictures. Because you'd think a lot of shit would change. A lot more would change. You'd think if he went back in time, his sister would never be born. Like, little fucking things would be altered.
Yeah, it kind of it gives you basically the false thing where like, oh, he has to kiss her right at this specific time, otherwise none of it. They made it work.
He changes. He's able to somehow affect the future in favor of the story and in favor of the characters. Like he affects it just enough to where he reverses everything. George McFly is the dominant alpha that he should be, and he's successful. And he fucked up Biff's future. No one ever thought about that. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
Oh, fuck Biff. He's a dick.
Yeah. And, he made his lazy bum brother successful. Like, he reverted everything for the better. Like some Sam fucking Beckett, Scott Bakula crap. Mm-hmm. But when in reality, you'd think it'd be a little bit more imperfect than that. Like, yeah, maybe George would have grew up to be this alpha, great, successful dude. But maybe his sister would have been born without a fucking leg. Because, or maybe
she could do fucking amputee porn.
Maybe because George was all confident and all this shit and they got together earlier. Maybe they went out to a party they never went to because they had less time together, or they met on different circumstances. And at that party, fucking one of them got into heroin.
He felt better about himself because he beat up Biff Tannen, so like he was like, oh, Lea Thompson, she's not hot enough for me. I gotta dump her and get with a popular chick.
Yeah, dude, that could have happened too. That could have totally backfired. You never know. But so the way this movie works, though, the way this one operates, I am inclined to believe that the rape situation still happened, right? And if that happened, Biff has the gall to be like, say hi to your mom for me and slurp a beer after he fucking like raped his mom.
Fuck me.
But the thing is,
savage.
It could have happened and it wouldn't be even seen as rape, because think about it, the 1950s or whatever. And even this movie in 1985 where it's set, people thought about that shit differently, right?
Yeah, they're like stupid back. They're like, oh yeah, maybe I did something that made him him want to fuck me. It's my fault.
So his mom, circa 1985, probably has the memory of Biff Tannen plowing her against her will, and she probably this is her thinking about the 50s of how guys were with girls, and it's just, and it almost seemed more animalistic, right? It's like a dog. It's just like Sinbad said, if a dog can't run, that's your woman. You chase him down, and you fucking just take what's yours.
That was how the fucking cavemen did it.
Yeah, I imagine, But so it's weird to think about that. I mean, this whole conversation, this whole podcast could be about time travel and just the theories behind it.
Oh, remember this was a big one, Twin Pines Mall, and then it's just Lone Pine Mall. People didn't notice that.
I didn't notice it when I was younger. I didn't, and it's actually super cool. It's really neat.
Subtle.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't point it out.
I remember when I was a kid too. I watched this movie a lot when I was like a little kid. I never quite got the whole Libyans arc. I didn't really understand it, like, because I just wanted to get to the movie. I just wanted to get to going back to the past. I never really thought about the whole Doc Brown stealing the plutonium or whatever and all that bullshit.
Yeah, we didn't even know what the fuck plutonium was.
And Libya, I didn't realize the concept that they were terrorists, you know, and he was trying to get that for the terrorists, but he was keeping it for himself. All this, like, that's kind of the adult stuff. I didn't know anything about terrorism.
Exactly.
Libyans. So, yeah, you know, everybody knows this too. The DeLorean was out of print when this movie came out. It was already defunct at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this movie being such a big hit caused a spike in the aftermarket for these or not, but yeah.
Devil May Cry.
Huh? What?
It said DMC on it.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
dupe, you didn't notice?
for a long time though, they were talking about, oh, give us a sequel, right? Like fucking a decade ago and shit.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I didn't know there was any sequels to this movie for a long time. Because people were like, how could you not know? They end with To Be Continued. This one doesn't. There's no To Be Continued. Maybe they added it to a VHS copy, but the original movie doesn't.
So were you just wondering? You were just wondering with that cliffhanger? Like, what happened next?
Like, I remember, an uncle or something, he was getting rid of a bunch of tapes he had in his, house. So he had all these tapes, and then, I got up, and I was like, Back to the Future 2? What the fuck? Hell yeah. And then I liked Back to the Future 2 even more than this one. But now I think I like this one the best.
So that's the thought process I had when I was a kid. I'm like, yeah, I like the second one better because it showed me the past and the future. I got more for my money, right? I got more in the movie. They went more places. But yeah, it's like, and as I get older, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I hear a lot of people talking about how this one is just far superior. It's just great. And I guess I see why.
Mm-hmm.
But the second was a lot of fun. It's one of the great sequels. It really is.
It's all fun, babe. It's donk.
And isn't it weird that we love a sequel so much that rehashes so many scenes and set pieces from the first movie? It's kind of odd.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's really odd. Like, I got to go back.
And then, he wakes up and he's like, Mom. And the whole dream thing within the dream thing they do in every one of them.
Yeah. You know what? Who knows? You know, on the topic of letting you guys, the listeners, decide how the month plays out, if you guys want to fucking hear some more Back to the Future, let us know that too. I mean, because if we don't do them in succession, we'll definitely get through all of them eventually. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. The Back to the Future exploitation.
The second one's insanely quotable.
Mm-hmm.
It's arguably more quotable, I think.
And yeah, we all know we'd do that. What fucking Biff did if we had a time machine. We'd all do that.
Bang Marty's mom.
That and get the sports almanac and go back in time and give it to yourself.
Put some money on the cummies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Zach was trying to pull. Hey, so coming off of Crypticon weekend, are we going to talk about that at all, man? What was your experiences on it?
It was donk.
What did it? You were Zach on the first day. He's like all baited out, right? He's like, I'm sick.
Yeah, I got fucking sick from all the traveling and shit.
He's like scrubbing his eyes, like, somebody take me home. So we had to take him back to the hotel early because he was gonna pass out. I thought it was because he had an eating disorder and he looked like he was 5 pounds. I'm like, dude, fucking eat an apple, get some energy.
You thought that,
dude? I was like, dude, he's fucking. You can't even pass as a paperweight.
Really?
Yeah, you're really skinny, bro. What are you at?
180, 85.
Yeah. Well, you're really. How tall are you? You're really tall.
6'3".
Dude, don't get any thinner. Don't get any thinner.
I'll plan on it.
6'3", 185. Woo. So, anyway, no, it probably is because the traveling thing. You're not used to traveling and traveling the way you did. I had a long traveling too. I was traveling all fucking day long. And to me, planes make me, I don't like airports and spending a lot of time in the air. It drives me crazy. So my whole experience doing that was bullshit. And, but I stuck it out, but it was a cool experience. I mean, I think we talked a lot about it while we were at the con. We just uploaded a commentary that we got 80% of the way through. Right? So check that out. It was live, and it actually sounds a lot better than I thought it was going to. Like, the stuff in the background isn't as loud on the recording, but it was just throwing me off because it was right in my fucking ear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it turned out to be a pretty fun podcast. I listened to it myself.
We got together with our boy William Lowry, baby.
Yeah, man, he was a cool dude. He came up and he embarrassed us a little bit by having us sign a copy of his Return of the Living Dead 2 Blu-ray slip, which was really flattering. So it was really great.
You remember what you wrote on it?
Do you remember what I wrote on it?
I don't. I wrote, "I dank you to dust, though," or something like that.
I don't remember what I wrote on it.
Yeah.
That shows you how personable it was. I'm sorry. I can't remember what I wrote.
And then we went and ate at the Texas Roadhouse Bible.
Yeah, that was fun.
We took William with us. It was donk. I got fucking sirloin steak, fucking loaded mashed potatoes and green beans. He got fucking salad and a fucking sirloin steak. And what did you get? I don't even remember.
I don't know. Why are we talking about what we ate for dinner? That's what we become?
I went fucking here's one thing. I went medium. Aaron gets it fucking rare. What was it you got? That's fucked up.
I think I got like surf and turf or something, right? Maybe. I don't remember what I got. I know I got a steak. Yeah, I got rare. No, you know what?
It's fucking rare.
I had chicken and a steak, like the half and half, the two, like the 4-ounce chicken and then the 4-ounce fillet or something. I don't know. But yeah, I get rare, man. I like stuff bloody. Fun fact though about you eating though, Riverman and I both said this kind of like after when we were on our way back to Omaha. We're like, yeah, that was the only time we saw Zach eat all weekend.
Really?
Was that that unless you ate at the hotel when you were vomiting or sick or something? I don't know. I think.
Yeah, I didn't eat the whole first day because traveling always ruins my appetite.
But you didn't eat though. The only time you ate was Saturday night at that restaurant. Am I right?
No, I did that night. Whenever I was sick, I went to the thing and ate. All I had to eat was the fucking the big box of Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
So that was the only real food I ate the whole weekend.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but it was a fun time. Next, I'm adamant that next year I don't want to do Kansas City Crypticon.
Oh yeah.
I'm not against possibly doing it as well. I want people to come out my way and do our convention. It's a totally different vibe. It's still a convention. The floor itself is smaller and intimate. The guests are better. And it's at a resort because Scottsdale, Arizona is just resort city. So, you know, we have the convention room, which is pretty much like any convention room you'd think it would be. But out of one door is a casino. Out of the other door is a hotel. It's just, and there's just more to do. And plus, I've never gotten Riverman to come out my way. I'm always going out there. And and this last trip, it was just such a fucking headache. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong. And I'm like, yeah, fucking next time, you guys come to me. It was so funny though. What was it I was saying? I threw that idea out there and Josh James was like, did you see what he said?
Oh.
I put it in the chat and I'm like, yeah, I think next year you guys should come out my way and do Mad Monster out here. And I said, you know what? There's no hotel necessary. You can stay at my house. It just makes sense, right? It might not make sense to someone like Todd because he'll for once have to actually pay for a plane ticket. It's like, God forbid you do some traveling. You know what I mean? But anyway, because it's always on me.
Look at that. He puts the plutonium in and that fucking clear liquid stays behind. What's that do? I want to know.
No, but so, you know, I put it in there when we got back. Like, yeah, I think all next year you should all come out to Arizona. You guys can stay at my house and you guys can experience it out here and go to that con. And Josh, because he couldn't make it to this one, that sucks. You know, and he said, can't you guys just meet me in the middle? Because I think Kansas City was too far. So I don't know, because he couldn't come to this last one, which is fair enough. And I'm like, meet you in the middle. Kansas City is about as middle as it gets for me. I live in Arizona. Like, no one's thinking about me. You know what I mean? Like,
we don't. We don't think about you. We don't care.
Like, how much more middle? Like, so if you want us to come to like Pennsylvania or something, that's not in the middle. That's meeting you 75% or something.
Hell yeah.
That's not in the middle. So But it is what it is.
He's a solipsist, though. Like, you don't exist. You're a figment of his imagination.
Phoenix is great because you can get straight shot flights anywhere. So it really shouldn't matter the distance. I was just thinking, look, it's sunny and you got a house. We can totally nix the hotels. We can totally nix all that bullshit, right?
Sunny sucks. We need to go somewhere where it's always nighttime.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of that. I'm tired of bleak weather. I don't want to do it. I don't envy it. Whenever I go back to Omaha and I visited him back in the fall, and it was, I think, unseasonably cold or something. And I'm like, I'm just over it, man. I'll never move back to where it's cold. I've been in Arizona for 5 years now, and I can deal. It's hellaciously hot right now, but it'll be over. In a couple months, we'll be on the downslide, and we're just going to have this awesome fucking fall and winter season.
Yeah, it's like that with the life, too. It sucks, it's hellacious, but it'll be over one day.
All right, the Libyans.
The deep sleep.
That Libyan's probably played by a Hispanic. Because
the labias.
People don't care. Like, if they need to cast an ethnic role, as long as you've got brown skin, you'll pass.
Exactly.
Isn't it funny how that's always worked?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there really isn't a Libyan actor out there?
Exactly.
Or, I mean... Come on, I get it. You don't have to like narrow it down to the fucking country, but at least the region. You're trying to tell me there's nobody from that region that's an actor?
Exactly. They're stuck in Libya. How are they gonna get here?
I saw some Instagram video of that new Hobbs and Shaw movie, that Rock and Jason Statham spinoff of Fast and Furious. And anyway,
they're doing spinoffs of it now?
Yeah, it's about to come out.
Why?
It's called Hobbs and Shaw, and it's just like a straight up. It's weird because it's kind of Fast and Furious looking, but no cars.
So are they done with that series?
No, they're going to make another one. Dude, there was a whole like online beef between, I don't remember if it was Vin Diesel or Tyrese or who it was, like shitting on, like taking jabs at Dwayne Johnson because of your shitty spinoff that they've delayed the next Fast movie. Because they did. They delayed it.
Hey, they could have never picked that shitty series up again. What are you pissed off about?
But I'm like, guys. Dwayne Johnson can't help that he's hot and people are throwing money at him, and he can't help that franchise is the only thing that keeps you guys working.
Here's what I want: the Pacifier 2.
Listen, I saw the Pacifier. That's Vin Diesel, yeah. But even so, who cares, man? Let it be pushed back a year or two. Like, you don't need these fucking movies every year. I get it. They want to work. But shit.
All we got is to see the cars going vroom, vroom down the street, though. You tell me you don't love that?
He could have went back in time and fucking stopped Bill Cosby from going on his rampage of rape.
Exactly. He could have. Fucking Marty. Fuck him. Hashtag cancel Marty.
So, do you think it's irresponsible that he's using this time machine to go back and just kind of fixing his own situation, or do you think they should have perfected? I get it. This is more or less.
This is not irresponsible at all. He did it by accident.
Well, he did it by accident, and I get it. He's got Doc in mind, and he's kind of caught up in the moment. I get it. And he's a kid. You can't expect him to have those sort of big visions. But do you think going down the line, Doc Brown kind of retired, I guess, and he wanted to retire in the Old West with his wife and his kids. But it doesn't make sense because remember at the end of, we'll get to it when we do part 3, but do you remember at the end of part 3, he's like, I'm not going back. I'm happy here. But then it kind of goes against everything the ending stood for, because then he shows up with his fucking train. And I'm like, so you did go back in the future because he destroyed, remember? Like, didn't he tell him to destroy the fucking thing when he got back?
Listen, you're thinking of time as a fucking straight arrow. Time is a fucking, it's a wave, baby, in the ocean. You would know that if you played the original Prince of Persia on PlayStation.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he? He told him he was staying behind, and I believe Marty could just barely get back on his own. And didn't he tell him to basically scrap all that shit, the time shit, like just get rid of it?
Yeah, but he said that before.
And then he comes back with a fucking train.
Before they went back in time again.
But anyway, that defeats the purpose of what we just watched in that movie. But anyway.
He had to save Doc because he got killed by Biff's fucking great-great-grandfather or whatever.
I often wonder what happened after the third one. Like, what was he just going in time with a train with his family and just visiting different periods?
Well, you could find out if you play that Telltale game for Back to the Future.
Or was he being responsible and going back and killing baby Hitler and stopping Bill Cosby from dropping another roofie? Or
you can't go back and kill baby Hitler because then somebody else would have been the baby Hitler.
Was he going back in time and ensuring that Zach's mom swallowed that night?
Hopefully.
No, it's funny. The Telltale game, now it's like out of print. You can't download it anymore. They've removed it from the stores and stuff.
Really?
So dude, a long time ago. And I always wanted to play it. And I remember on my PS3 and my PSN, I still have part 1, right? Downloaded.
I fucking bought it on this line. They better still let me download it.
Oh, I don't think you can. You better have it downloaded.
That's fucking retarded.
They did the same thing with that fucking...
Actually, I think I might have it on disc.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can find... I think that probably goes for a bit of money too, because it's really hard to find. I think that went out of press a long time ago, and then you couldn't find it on the stores anymore. I don't know if they lost rights.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful? Isn't the fucking digital revolution so great?
Yeah.
That's why we don't have to buy physical media anymore.
No, seriously, it is bullshit. And I know it doesn't happen that much, right? Most of the stuff, they, preserve licenses and stuff like that. But that it had to be a licensing thing because this was years ago. It wasn't around, but I swear the first couple of years. And then it was gone. Which is weird because I don't know why they would make a game if they knew the license was only going to be good for so long and they weren't confident it was going to get re-upped. I don't know. Same thing happened with the Turtles in Time remake they did, which is shitty anyway.
I still got that on my 360.
Don't delete it because you won't be able to download it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Turtles license went up to.
I was bummed though because I thought they were remaking the fucking the NES classic version. They did the fucking arcade version.
The arcade that was omitting a few levels here and there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, it's dumb. I'd rather just play the originals anyway, but I don't really know how it all works because obviously it was remaking a Konami game, but it was probably ported over and remade by a different company. And they still make Turtles games, but I don't know if it has something to do with Nintendo being in bed. I know they bought the TV rights, but Nintendo also has kind of the toy rights because on my NECA shit, the Nickelodeon stuff's on there too. So I don't know if they have a hand in the gaming department. Or
did you know they rebooted the Nickelodeon show already?
They've had so many variations of that Turtles. I don't even care. Jason Biggs does he still play one of them?
Yeah, he was. I don't know if he still does.
Or is it rebooted again?
They rebooted it since then. Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Ninja Turtles. My work home office here. It's almost a shrine to Turtles at this point. At the convention, I bought some cool canvas art too of Turtle. I love Turtles, man, but I can't really get past my era of the Turtles where my nostalgia is. I like the cartoon. I like the original movie. I don't even really care for the fucking second movie anymore. Like, it is what it is. But fucking Next Mutation at Onward. Do you remember the Next Mutation? Where they had a sister, Venus?
I don't. I only watched the 80s version, yeah.
It was the Next Mutation came in the mid to late 90s, and it was a Fox Kids show. And it was made by Saban, so it looked like Beetleborgs and Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover episode on Power Rangers, where it was the Next Mutation Turtles. So,
oh, okay, that's what that was. Okay,
yeah, they were trying to plug the Next Mutation show at the time, which I don't think that show lasted more than a season or two.
So that was a live action show.
Yeah, it was live action. So
cool.
Yeah, weird. But anyway. Where are we at here? Saturday, November 5th, 1955. He comes to the realization he has stepped back in time. Cue the music.
Fucking great theme.
How old were you when you first saw this? You remember?
Probably like 8 or 9. My dad showed it to me. He's like, this is a dog film. And my dad talked like that. He's like, this is fucking dog.
I have no idea when I saw this. I've been watching this movie for so long. It's been around as long as I can remember. So I probably been watching it since I was 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly.
Was your dad?
Then I found out there were sequels fucking 11, 12.
B for pork. Riverman and I used to quote the fucking second one all the time. You have to use your hands. It's like a baby's toy.
Yeah. In the future, you use your dick for everything.
Yeah. It's yet another futuristic movie that totally gets the year wrong and what happens, technology wise and things. But it's funny how some ideas aren't far off, but we kind of like go in a different direction. Like we don't have flying cars, but these movies didn't predict smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these old movies always depicted video conferencing phones. When I was a kid and I used to watch Back to the Future 2 and I'd see them making phone calls on video, or they did that on The Simpsons too, where there was a future episode. I'm like, that is so fucking weird. That'll never exist. I don't see how that could ever work. And we literally had it like 5 years later, 10 years later. It was crazy. And it's common now.
I didn't see how flying cars would work because you just have to have no rules.
Yeah, it would be weird airspace. The whole thing would be just crazy. I think anything's possible. I think they could totally do it. I think there's a company that's already made one or something, or it's got to be tested. I think there's people that already want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there would have to be so many things that have to come to pass. It's not just somebody inventing it. It's getting permits and cities, everybody, the country to jump on board and making new laws that regulate the shit in the sky. And it would be so expensive to create all that stuff. And then it's like, does that eventually become the norm and the auto industry goes kerplunk, or does the auto industry somehow merge into the flying car market and they kind of, take a place there? And
you definitely have to make it run on gas. Otherwise the oil and gas industry would be pretty pissed.
Well, I mean, I guess if it became a big thing, it would create a lot of new jobs. I think it'd create a whole slew of problems for a while. I don't know how it's like we have self-driving cars. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In Tempe, Arizona, 30 minutes from my house, that was one of the piloting cities for self-driving cars. So for Uber and stuff like that. So if you're in Tempe and you get an Uber, chances are it's going to be one of those cars like you saw in the Child's Play remake, where the woman gets in it and it's driving by itself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all of them. And they've had a couple of mishaps. I think one of them killed somebody. And people freak out like, oh my gosh, you can't trust it. It's a machine. It's not worth a life. And I'm like, people are arguing, but you can't technically. More people are getting killed by real cars than that one.
Yeah, like 97% of car crashes are caused by human error or something like that.
You know what I mean? Like, so you could flip shit over one mistake that automation caused, but it's still a teardrop in the ocean compared to what. But maybe the thought process is, look, if you're going to have, what's the point of having machinery and automation, all this stuff, if it's not just guaranteed, like make it work? I don't know. I'd be a little afraid. I've never gotten into a self-driving car. I'd be fucking tripping. I wouldn't feel comfortable.
I'd be danged to dust.
Well, you guys should come out here and we'll take one.
Hell yeah.
But actually,
I think it would know if we jacked off and cave inside on its interior. I
think since, I might be wrong. I think since it was still like in the piloting per se, that these Ubers still had quote unquote drivers in the passenger side that were overseeing it. You know what I mean? I think.
That's no fun. They'll see me coming on the upholstery.
Yeah. Can you imagine how would they have to change that? Because if you had a self-driving car, the things that you could do in that car, would they have to be recording your activity just in case the car returned wherever it came from and there was jizz stains, and like, okay, well, we're going to get this fucker who we have on video in the car and we're going to fucking sue him. We're going to send him a subpoena.
It has heat sensitive fucking upholstery. At any time a humid bodily fluid touches it, it goes off. What
if some corrupt, mad for power asshole starts building those taxi cabs like the fucking guy in Heavy Metal, right? Where it's like a death trap.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
See, look, that's where he fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Fuck boy.
All I know is before society decides to transition into the skies as far as their travel needs go, we got to at least have an era where we do car combat, right? Thunderdome shit, Twisted Metal, right? Maybe that'll happen. Like when the world ends, like after we've long been flying in the sky and all this shit, we'll have to revert to archaic technology, and then it will really become like fucking Thunderdome, right? And we start using these old automobiles.
Does he have a pimple?
I don't know.
He's got principal Baines pimple.
Oh man,
on his face.
Dude, do you think
Baines? Her last name is Baines in this movie. Mind blown.
I don't get it.
You don't remember that skit from fucking all that?
No.
Principal Baines Pimpel.
Oh, Pimpel. Yeah, okay. I remember Pimpel. They got a new All That.
I know. I haven't seen it yet.
It's so funny because, you know, if you follow people like Kel Mitchell or whatever on Instagram and he's posting and spamming all this fucking new All That stuff, and you got all these 90s kids tagging everybody in it like, oh yeah, fucking off the chain. You guys aren't going to watch that shit. It's still geared towards kids.
Yeah.
Like, just because you remember when you were a kid and you watched Kenan and Kel and all that doesn't mean you're going to like that shit now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you might high five each other and be like, oh, that's so cool, man. Yeah. I ain't going to watch it. I'm going to go watch.
Yeah. And plus Danny Timborelli or bust. Bring back the Timborelli.
He needs to drop a few
loads in my mouth.
I don't think he meets the criteria. He's too big. Well, I can't say that because Lori Beth Denberg's a part of the new All That.
Oh yeah.
And she's still a house.
She needs to drop a few loads in my mouth too.
I didn't say loads, but
would you watch Danny Timborelli fucking Lori Beth Denberg?
I'd watch him brick in her mouth. No, you know what's funny is Kel Mitchell, he does not age, man. They say black don't crack. It's legit. That dude, I don't know what he's doing, but keep doing it, right?
He's bathing in the blood of virgins.
He posts pictures of him and his oldest son, and they literally look like brothers. It's crazy, man. Good for him. And even
look at his bulge.
Those underwear look really uncomfortable. I can't wear underwear like that.
Yeah, they leave lines on your dickhead.
I like to wear long briefs, like the long boxer briefs.
Your dickhead looks like a fucking ruffled chip.
No difference then.
Potato chip.
No difference then. Looks like a chewed up Frank, like a dog's been fucking gnawing on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. That doesn't.
Now we can watch Jackie Gleason while we eat.
That's so, dude. This movie, when you really think about it, man. Oh look, it's Jason Hervey.
Yeah, that little fuck from fucking Wonder Years.
I fucking love him, man.
He's wearing that coonskin cap. I would grab it while I'm fucking him.
I think he's real life friends with Dave Faustino and the fucking Wheeze.
The Wheeze?
The Wheeze is going on tour, by the way, and he's coming back to Tempe. I wonder if I should try and see him this time.
He was like 20 minutes away from me, and I didn't realize it till it was happening.
Okay, yeah, he's going to Omaha on this stop. It's in the fall. Todd should go, but I might go. I mean, we get so many. I'm spoiled here. We get so many stand-up comedy shows, having the Tempe Improv and all the comedy clubs we have here. But I don't really go to them, so I should.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to say was, isn't this really kind of messed up when you think about it? This is 1985, and this was put on by a huge studio, commercial studio. Steven Spielberg, Robert Zemeckis, all this stuff. And a heavy, heavy, heavy point of the plot is incest.
Hell yes.
No, but isn't that odd? Like, this place is almost going to places that only shit like Amityville 2 The Possession goes.
Exactly. See, we need more incest in movies. It always turns out good.
But it's such an uncomfortable plot beat, right? It's like, look at this, the whole thing. Like, okay, this is where Marty's mom stares at him, like just undressing with, look at her.
It tries to grab his cock.
Her loins are pumping fucking so hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
And how does Marty not go into therapy as soon as he gets back, experiencing what he experienced with his mom just fucking aching in the puss for him? You know, she was fucking flicking her bean, dude, at night when they went to bed and stuff during this time.
Hell yeah.
She's like jacking off, fucking her lady boner because Calvin Klein's next door. And another thing, how come when she fucked George McFly in this new altered timeline, she ain't like, oh my God, how come George McFly's not like, hey, our fucking son looks just like Calvin Klein? What the fuck?
They forgot about him.
No, you know what I mean, though? Like, is that not a flaw? A major flaw?
Well, they would have seen him grow up his whole life. They probably wouldn't notice.
No, bullshit. Bullshit. You think so? You think it would have caught...
Unless they don't have a fucking picture of Calvin Klein from their childhood.
So you think it would have caused like a bit of a Mandela effect? The long, like, growing up process and watching him?
See, that's what the Mandela effect really is. The powers that be don't want you to know that.
I was listening to this podcast where Chris Jericho's podcast, he had on his show this random guy from Twitter that goes under an alias, right? He goes under an alias because...
Those are always the best interviews.
He goes under an alias because he wants to protect his identity and his career because he knows information.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking all about aliens and the government secret. And he says that he's been contacted by government informants and they've tasked him with letting out information subtly, right? And he gets phone calls from his informant and he's just telling all this stuff to Jericho. And one of the things he talks about is Mandela effect and how that's a product of the government as well. And how it's like, what it's not like it. Yeah, I will give him this. Have you heard anybody speak up that for sure is like, no, I totally remember being a Berenstain Bears. You guys are all on crack.
I never fucking read that shit. So yeah, I don't know.
No, but like, I don't know what the fuck that's about, but it would be interesting. I don't see anybody making videos like you guys are on crack. I always knew it to be Berenstain. That's all we need. Is a couple people to be like, yeah, it was always Berenstain Bears.
I'm pretty sure they probably exist.
Well, I mean, they those probably aren't the people that are blowing up because they aren't victims of the Mandela effect. So why would they?
Oh.
Right? It's like the people that leave bad reviews on Yelp. People don't leave good reviews on Yelp because, well, I mean, they had a good experience. They ate their food. They fucking went home and fucked their wife. You know, it's only the people that are upset that want their voices to be heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
The victims.
The greatest fucking Yelp review ever was, I got stabbed here. The food was good. The atmosphere was good, but I got stabbed here. Would probably go again.
Where this sounds familiar. It's ringing familiar.
I had a screenshot. I think I probably sent it to you before.
That's really funny, man. Restaurants take that shit so seriously. They literally pay Yelp and all that stuff to clean up bad reviews. Like it's kind of like organized crime. It's mafia at this point where
I've never used Yelp in my life.
You'd have to be an angry person to have to use it. But like I said, I think Yelp has almost become like the mafia where it started off as something totally voluntary, but now it's so much part of the ether and the restaurant culture that you kind of have to have it, right? And then you feel forced to have it and you rely heavily on those reviews. And if somebody gives you a bad review, it ends your world. So I think Yelp offers a premium service, a monthly service to where they keep your fucking Yelp fucking clean of that shit if you pay them. Isn't that not like the mafia?
That's fucking doofy.
Like we'll protect you as long as you fucking pay your tax to us, right? It's fucked up. But why can't I just go back to enjoying my fucking dirty old Chinese restaurants, right? There was a Chinese restaurant I used to love back home, and because of the budding Yelp, it got shut down because they were doxxed for having like frozen rats in the freezers. And
why is it always the Chinese restaurants that get fucking caught?
Well, that's, you know what? I don't know if they're the ones that are just getting caught. I just think they happen to be a lot of the perpetrators. You know, and I don't know what it's from because obviously the people that migrate from China, they're the ones that are typically opening up Chinese restaurants. And it's always been odd to me that they come over here from their native land and they don't make their native food. They don't have orange chicken in China. They don't have cashew chicken in China. This is all Americanized, right? They don't have that shit. You probably wouldn't like the real Chinese food. Well, some of it's good, but it's nothing like it. So, but yet they all come over. And you can't tell one Chinese restaurant from the next as far as their food, for the most part, right? Like the cliche Chinese buffets.
Yeah.
It's all the same. And so not only is it would honestly be a little bit more believable if it was authentic food that was all the same. But no, it's not authentic food that's all the same. So I wonder when they get off the boat and they take their citizenship tests, do they all get sort of issued an Americanized Chinese cookbook that they all have to follow?
It's like fucking they just become like McDonald's and Burger King. They all got the same food.
But even those, you can taste the difference, man. The only difference in these restaurants is how hot it is and how is it does this restaurant keep fucking food that's been out for 5 hours? And is it shitty or is it like fresh? But other than that, it tastes more or less the same. The only minus a couple of things. Some people make their orange chicken differently, I've noticed, right? Some people put like the orange zest in there. Some people make it spicy. Some people put like some veggies in. So there's little things that people play with. But I don't know. It's fucking weird.
There's a Chinese restaurant my mom likes that she always talks about going to when she's in a town that like Terre Haute is kind of far away. It's like 20 minutes away, but like every time she goes there, she's like, "Oh yeah, I went to." It's called Tampon Yucky, and I call it Tampon Yucky. It's pretty dog.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's funny though,
but that got in trouble recently.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. And the one in our town years ago, I guess some guy from the health department was in the restaurant eating. Whenever he saw one of the waiters come take like food that was on someone's plate that they didn't eat, and he just put it back in the fucking the all-you-can-eat thing.
The hot well. Ooh. Zach was born in a small town. He was born in a small town. So yeah, my theory on that though is why those restaurants tend to be very dirty, those little mom and pop ones. That's part of their culture. Like in China, I've mentioned it before. I spent a long time staying and living in China.
They kill dogs and shit.
Listen, look, I spent a long time staying and living in China. There's that cliche. You remember on Dave Chappelle? Where it's like the old dirty Chinese restaurant, whatever.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang.
ODB changes his name to Old Dirty Chinese Restaurant.
Yeah, there's that old stereotype of the old dirty Chinese restaurant. Dude, they don't have a concept of being checked, right? They don't have the food police coming by and making sure your foods are temp and checking. You know, because restaurants, it's surprise visits, right? From these people. They get surprise visits, you know, to make it to where, hey, look, you need to keep your shit regularly up to code because you're going to get surprise visits from these people that can shut you down. And they don't have a concept of that in China. They don't. I went to Chinese restaurants and I literally had to brush the fucking garbage trash from a can off the seat to sit down.
Sleazy.
And I could see in the back room where the guy's cooking the food, he's fucking just slopping shop back there, and it looks fucking disgusting. And
they got that Saxon sleaze.
They've got garbage all over the floor. And then while you're eating your food, sitting on a little bench, you know, the owner walks from the back across the dining room floor with a fucking steel garbage can with fucking shit spilling out of it. And he takes it out the front door, which is about 20 feet from the fucking kitchen, if that. And they just dump it on the curb and they come back. And she don't wash her hands.
The fucking sweet and sour chicken's the best, though.
Yeah, they don't have it there. You can have sweet and sour eyeballs, you know? No, in China, and that's another thing. In China, they have nicer restaurants, like dim sum places that are bigger that I noticed a more robust menu. But literally just your average, the dirty little Chinese restaurants, the cliche, dude, those are everywhere. You go outside in China and it is literally Chinese restaurant next to other Chinese restaurants. They neighbor each other. And then every fourth building might be a salon. Every 10th building might be a laundromat of sorts. That's pretty much all they got. But you go outside and you can literally see 50 mom and pop Chinese restaurants that all have the same menu and they all serve the same exact fucking food. You go there, rice or noodle, dumpling, rice or noodle, chicken. That's it. That's all they fucking serve. And it all tastes the same. I don't care where you go, you know? And yeah, it is what it is. And they don't drink cold drinks. That's an American thing. Right? That's a Western thing rather. They all drink broth or hot broth. That's it. They don't have, there's nothing to wet your whistle. Everybody's downing all this shit and you can't get anything cold down your throat.
My dad went to we used to get the Chinese restaurant from our town all the time, and my dad went. My mom's like, "Hey," she dropped him off. She's like, he went in to grab the food she ordered. She's like, "Yeah, we got sweet sour chicken and rice or something like that." And so he goes in to order it, and the guy's like, "What kind of rice you want?" And he's like, "What?" I guess he was sitting there for a good minute or something, like, I don't know what you're saying. And he's like, "What kind of wife you want?" He's like, what? And so finally he's like, "Oh, okay, hold on." And then he runs to the fucking front door and he yells to my mom across the street, "What kind of wife you want?" And we
shitty beef. It's like the South Park guy.
Yeah, it was,
I used to work with this older Vietnamese woman. She was maybe like 60, I don't know. And she sounded just like that. You know, God bless her. She was so lovely and just such a nice person. But her grasp on English wasn't great. And she had that sort of dialect where it's like, what? And she would come up to me, and I was working in a hospital. And so she kind of worked in dietary. And part of their job after they were done serving patients the food and stuff like that is they would come down, and they had this giant like industrial dish room, you know, it wasn't like a normal like dishwashing gig, if you know what I mean. It was a giant fucking beast of a thing. And they all kind of ran assembly line cleaning all this stuff. Anyway, she would be always super wet because she worked the day shift, and she would be on her way out as I was coming in for the night shift or whatever. And she'd be kind of like all wet with her scrubs because she got done washing the dishes and stuff for the end of the shift. And she'd always be like, oh yeah, I got for you. And I'm like, oh no, that's okay, Lynn. That's okay. You don't have to do that. And she's like, oh, and she'd reach into her like wet, nasty pocket, and she'd pull out Starbursts that looked like they had been in her pocket for a year, and they had been soaked. And so
Starbursts are dog.
No, they were soaked, dude. Like, can you imagine, like soaked with dishwater, and the wrapper was like half on. They were like holes in them. And I'm like, okay. And she'd give them to me every day.
What's better, Starburst, the red or the pink?
Fun fact. Did Riverman tell you this when we were in Kansas City Crypticon? I used to eat Starburst, and I have to stack them because I want all the flavors. I'd make a Starburst sandwich.
I think you said that, yeah.
I'd stack 4 or 5 Starbursts, and they had to be every flavor. And if I was able to get like an extra one, you know, one more than there were flavors, I would cap it off with the same flavor that was in the bottom to make like a sandwich. And I would squish it down as tight as I could.
Dude, a sandwich of only pink, you would probably have cummed, dude.
I had to squish it down so I could fit it in my mouth, man. And I'd just take a big bite, and I'd feel all that. It was a flavor party in my mouth, and it was orgasmic. So good.
Yeah, the pinks are fucking orgasmic.
And he used to judge me, and I'm like, dude, people eat Skittles. People eat like a small handful of Skittles all the time, and that's always a variable of flavors. How is this any different? But then again, you meet those people that eat like one Skittle at a time.
Skittles are donk too.
You meet those people that eat like one M&M at a time. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. I've never understood it, man.
What's better, M&M with nuts or without nuts?
I like them both, but with nuts.
Hell yeah.
But I think am I weird to think that the regular M&Ms do taste different, even though not talking about the lack of a nut, they just taste different.
Yeah.
They don't taste the same as what I'm getting with the nut ones.
Because you're mostly getting a nut. Now you're just getting chocolate, mostly.
Maybe that is. Maybe there's more chocolate on those. But they're both good for their own things. But I've never understood people that can eat one thing at a time. Like I literally, if I were to eat M&Ms right now, I'm going to dump out a small handful and throw them in my mouth. Because I'm one of those guys that likes having a lot of shit in my mouth at once. Fucking waiting for your gay joke, right? I do. And Todd, dude, Riverman will fucking give me shit. He says in high school, and it's true, we'd sit down for lunch. And, you know, when you get to high school, you kind of have the more legit cafeterias. I mean, you came from a small town, right? So I don't know how much money was pumped into your school system, but did you have like, when you went to high school, was your lunch game upped?
If it fucking sucked, you just shitty food.
Okay. So we had a multitude of options when we got to high school. So we had the regular hot lunch menu, of course, but we also had the restaurant of the day. It could be Papa John's. It could be different restaurants, and we'd have that like catered. Mm-hmm. And we could order that. We could have that. It would be in and then we had all kinds of other shit, all kinds of stuff like fresh desserts, baked pies, all kinds of stuff. And then we had a separate mini mart. We called it the C store. I'm sure it stood for convenience store, but we had a separate convenience store, and it was legit like a Circle K looking thing inside near our cafeteria. And you can go in there and you get fountain drinks, you can get snacks, you can get Choco Tacos, you can get Pop-Tart, whatever the fuck you want. So
yeah, it was funny. Like my high school, they always did this thing where they never had a cafeteria, or if they did, they didn't use it, and you just got to go wherever you wanted for fucking lunchtime. And then the last year they did that was the year before I went. So yeah, I missed out on that. And all of a sudden, yeah, we got this new fucking, we're going to do it a different way.
Yeah. Well, I swear, almost everybody in my high school, most kids, it seemed like they just went to that convenience store and bought a bag of Doritos and a large fountain drink, and that was their lunch. Like, just everybody in the world will just do that. But to be honest with you, the hot lunch, I would go up there, and you could do it. You could buy everything sort of a la carte, right? I never got what was on the hot lunch, but I would always get fries from the hot lunch section, right? Because the fries were legit fucking good. The Todd probably will vouch for this, but the French fries at Millard South High School in Omaha, Nebraska were fucking the shit. And anyway, he used to give me shit because I never understood those people that just take one fry at a time, dip it in ketchup, and eat it. Like, what? How are you enjoying that? I have to group together 4, 5, 6, 7 fries, right? In a bundle, like a bundle of sticks.
Put them in my mouth and then fucking squeeze the tube of ketchup into my mouth.
No. I dunk that shit. I dunk that shit in the little bitty like paper cup of ketchup you can fill up with little pumps, and like it would almost be spilling out, and I'd get a good dunk, and I'd take a big old bite, man. And I don't know why. He would legit get angry with me. Like, dude, fucking eat fries normal. It was like I was George eating a candy bar with a fork and knife or something. Snickers bar. But
Snickers are dog.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, one time I did that. I was eating so fast, and one of those, those little bitty burnt pieces you get, the little bitty fries that are burnt in the corners, and they're like sharp and crispy, right at the bottom. Mm-hmm. One of those slipped into my bundle of fries, and I just jammed it in my mouth because I was hungry, man. I don't know. And I fucking stabbed my gum like really hard, man. And all of a sudden I'm bleeding, dude. Like, holy shit. I cut myself. I had an abrasion, a laceration in my gum. So, what I love to do is my downfall. Mm-hmm. But I miss it though. It really wasn't a bad gig at all. So, but yeah, I liked it.
What, eating fries?
Just the high school lunch. And it's I'm feeling nostalgia right now. Serious nostalgia.
We're only halfway through this movie.
It's a good movie. No, we're more, dude. We only got 50 minutes left. We're over halfway.
If it feels like it's taking long, this isn't one of my favorites anymore.
It's weird. It's one of those movies that I don't necessarily think goes by fast, but you don't not enjoy the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just playing.
No, but it is one of those movies. It's not a movie that goes by in a fucking blink of an eye, but you kind of enjoy its pace and you kind of suck it all in and soak it up. A movie I think goes by fucking fast is like a Mortal Kombat. But then again, Mortal Kombat's,
Mortal Kombat.
They came into Final Kombat. That movie's got like 20, 25 minutes under this one, so maybe that helps.
Yeah, see, here's why was he getting shit for wearing a life preserver by a guy that wears fucking 3D glasses?
Yeah, that is weird. Was that a thing in the 50s? Was any of our listeners around in the 50s? That'd be like my grandpa. That'd be weird. I wonder if we have any. I looked at our Prime demo, and I don't know how much we're reaching into the 70, 80-year-old thing, We're hitting exactly where you'd think we'd hit. We're in that highly, highly coveted 18 to like 40 thing, It's perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
So he fucking Calvin Klein, he invented the skateboard.
Oh, he's gonna pull some Forrest Gump shit.
This is dog shit.
This movie was kind of doing some Forrest Gump shit before Forrest Gump, which also was directed by Robert Zemeckis, right? Mm-hmm. Because I guess it's right. Marty McFly, technically, for all we know, I don't think they do any dialogue here or make any insinuations, but somebody might have seen him doing this and got an idea, right? Like, oh. Mm-hmm. And obviously, Marvin, Barry, that whole thing. They like that, dude, that right there. Talk about serious butterfly effect. What that could have done.
Yeah.
Like, baby Marty McFly is the reason why Chuck Berry grew up to take videos of women taking shits.
Hell yeah. He didn't have to worry about writing songs because fucking Marty already did it for him.
You ever hear about that? Like him being a total super freak?
Hell yeah. He's fucking dog. He's sleazy. My kind of guy.
You ever heard that Dave Chappelle bit too, where he's talking about the Chuck Berry sex tape? Mm-mm. So there was a Chuck Berry sex tape, and supposedly it is one of the most vile sex tapes you could get your hands on.
I've seen it.
You've watched it?
I found it online and I watched some of it.
You watched it. Where he's shitting and pissing on her.
Yeah, he's like peeing and shit.
He pissed it on.
I think if I remember right, he has her piss on his dick.
Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny because Oh, he's like farting in her face.
Yeah.
He's like doing kind of he's into the gross shit. The godfather of rock and roll. He is the guy that influenced everybody. The Beatles, Clapton, they all look to Chuck Berry, and this guy is farting in girls' faces and pissing all over.
That's fucking awesome.
It's so weird. It really humanizes him. Like, wow. You know, Zach can look at Chuck Berry, a guy that influenced generations, and go, wow, he's a human just like me that likes fucked up shit just like me and likes farting in people's faces just like me and pissing on people just like me.
Get his dick pissed on.
And anyway, the punchline of the Dave Chappelle story, though, was the end of the video where he talks about the end of the video where the woman, after she's just been demeaned, says, kiss me. And he goes, you smell like piss. Like he rejects it.
Oh, yeah, that was Nat King Cole or something like that.
I
think so.
According to the Dave Chappelle skit, it was Chuck Berry.
They lied.
The skit itself, it's actually one of his recent skits or recent stand-up bits. It's basically talking about the Louis C.K. thing and the whole like, look, there is a gradient. There's levels to how bad something is and how they should be treated, right? Like, and he's basically saying what Louis C.K. You can't say what Louis C.K. is bad. And he started telling the deviance of like Chuck Berry and the sex tape. And then it all came back around after a really long story, and it comes back around to the Louis C.K. thing, which was a pretty funny like punchline. But it is true. It's like, come on. You can't say what he did is worse than like that.
Neither of them are bad.
Well, I mean, it's consensual, but you don't know that. We don't know the context of what Chuck Berry and that woman went through or what that woman was trying to get. But no, what was bad is that was it his restaurant? What did he own in St. Louis? It was some kind of establishment where he had the fucking bathrooms bugged with cameras. He had the toilets bugged to where they were watching girls take shits.
That's donk.
He had a serious fucking fecal kink, man. He was into the scat, right? He might have been into...
That's good shit.
He might have been into the music too, but he was into two types of scat. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So...
I want to watch some scat porn.
How much money would it take for you to eat someone's shit as it's fresh out of their ass? It's kind of like a Divine did with a dog. How much would it take?
Is it a really hot chick?
I don't think when it's fucking, actually, I don't want it to be a hot chick. Fuck, that's gross. But
if it's a really hot chick, I'll do it for free.
No, it's just a serious question. Serious question. Like, we're talking real money. What is your dollar amount that they would have to put in front of your face for you to actually do it?
Fucking.
And does it make it easier if it's a stranger or someone you know?
It doesn't make a difference. Fucking $500,000 at least.
You want to do a podcast with me after knowing you ate my shit?
Why not? Talk about it.
That would establish our dominant roles for sure then. Be like, dude, you literally ate my shit.
Exactly. And he gave me fucking $500,000 for it. He's a dumbass.
I didn't give it to you. It's coming from fundraising. If we had a show like the Howard Stern show and we had his listenership, we could sit there and do sort of a call out for fundraising. Like, okay, he said he would eat my shit if we could rally and gather up so much money, and we get people to donate $1, right after you've named your price.
Mm-hmm.
Like Howard Stern would do those games all the time, or giveaways or whatever, and he'd have his, crew and shit do really fucked up shit, or the Whack Pack or something.
Why are they called the Whack Pack? Do they jack off at each other's face?
No, I think it's like they're just whack. I don't know. They're out of whack. They're always... I think...
They should have jacked off at each other's face.
I think there was an episode of a show where they were actually talking about what constitutes a Whack Pack, what makes you a member of the Whack Pack. Because there were some people that worked on the show that were uncertain. Like, am I a Whack Pack or am I not a Whack Pack? And basically you have to have something wrong with you, right? Most of the Whack Packers have physical disabilities or mental disabilities, but that's not always the case. Just something weird about them. But
oh yeah,
I miss when that show was good. I actually watch a lot of Howard Stern old videos and old serious videos before, prior to the last 10 years on YouTube, and I still get a kick out of them. I watch the same old ones over and over and over again because now it's a different animal. He's all PC, and he just wants to be Larry King and interview A-list celebrities. And he removed the comedian position out of his station, so because they always had a comedian there, like Jackie the Joke Man. It was replaced by Artie Lang, and it's whenever Artie Lang decided to attempt suicide and stab himself in the stomach like a bajillion times, they just never rehired somebody in his place, and they changed formats.
How do you how do you ask somebody to replace that? They're going to feel like they have to go out some way like that.
He was so fun. He was a perfect person for that show. Have you ever listened or watched Howard Stern videos back when Artie Lang was on the show?
I don't think so.
I think he was on the show for like 11 years. I think he left in 2010. I think he joined in 1999. But anyway, you'd like him. He's the ultimate troll, dude. People come in, the guests or the people of the show, and he fucking just bullies the fuck out of them. He picks on these fucking people so hard. I mean, and he was a PC. He was saying fag this, fag that, dude. It was everything. And it was just kind of his humor. He was just that rough guy. And maybe that's why Howard Stern changed formats, because someone like Howard Stern, something like him would not fly.
Well, you see what happened to him. You look at his fucking nose.
Dude, he's roughed up. Well, that's also kind of what made for good radio when he was on the show, too, is he became a soap opera. His whole life was under a microscope. And of course, when you join the Howard Stern show, your whole life is subject to come on the show and be a part of the show. And they ask you about it. And they, because they have their own news department, the Howard 100 News, right? And the Howard Stern Show news department, their job is to get the scoop on the people that work on the Howard Stern Show. Right. So you don't really have any mystery or privacy to your life. So basically, dude, he relapsed on that show. He was taking sabbaticals and going to rehab. He came to the show strung out. There was an episode where he fell asleep on the show because he couldn't stay awake because he was on fucking heroin.
Sounds dank.
And for a while, it was really funny. Like, the first couple of times he fell asleep, they'd make it into a bit. It was so fucking funny. And he'd be snoring and shit like that. But then eventually it'd become like a problem. Then he had the suicide attempt, which was super dark,
They do it on the air?
No, it wasn't on the air. It's like he didn't come to work the next day. That'd be fucked up. He didn't come to work the next day. And there was one episode where he broke down. He was supposed to be clean for a long time, but he had finally come clean and told everybody he was addicted to heroin. Like, it was real emotional. And like, they stopped the show, and fucking Howard Stern like hugs him and takes a break. It's crazy. Like, they never used to get that shit with Jackie Martling. Jackie Martling was just a fucking, he was a pawn that stood there and said, he didn't really make good jokes. He would just laugh at everything Howard would say. But it was good. To me, it was the best 10 years of broadcasting ever. So now they just kind of do gay shit, which is interesting. It's still really funny.
Fuck each other on the show?
Well, God, not far from it. So, back Howard Stern, when he first hit the scene, his whole mantra was to be shocking, and he'd have like lesbians and porn stars on, and it was, aimed a lot towards men, straight men or whatever. But now, I don't know if it's because he changed his tune and stuff about like the PC thing, but now it's like it would be a lot of gay shit. And so they got these two guys on the show, Richard and Sal. Richard Christie, who's actually a prominent metal drummer he's drummed for Ice Earth and Death and Control Denied and stuff. But anyway, they always do they're the resident like Bert and Ernie, Beavis and Butthead, where they will do the most heinous shit. And a new episode they had was where they concocted this contest where one of the lead writer, Benji, he had the idea to take these two dudes and jerk them off. And the first person to get hard lost.
Fuck yes.
You know what I mean? And
I would have lost right away.
And since it's serious, you can watch it uncensored. It's Serious Network. And it's funny because like everybody jokes that Richard's probably gay or whatever, and but he never admits he has fun or whatever doing it. And the other guy's like, it was funny. And you got to watch this guy jerk him off and he's having fun. They're like, oh my God, make it stop. And then Richard's just like, it tickles. It's weird. It's really weird what they do.
Sounds genius.
I think they got one of them to lick the other one's ball sack or something once.
Would you lick a ball sack for $20,000?
$20,000? Fuck no. I thought you were gonna say 20 million. I'm like, you know what? When it comes to 20 million,
$20,000, I would lick a fucking ball. What the fuck's it gonna do to you?
dude, $20 million. I thought you were gonna say. I'm like, man, at that point, at that dollar amount, I think I'd have I think all the people in the world that I think might have an opinion about that, I think they would think I was stupid at that point for turning down that much money. 20,000? No, dude, come on.
I would lick a fucking soggy asshole for that much.
Can you imagine how fucking stinky that back of that ball sack has to taste? I'm sure it's some motherfucker that wipes, the wrong way, and it's just fucking, he's got shotgun shit splatter. You know that kind of shit you take where it's like oh, I should know because I just cleansed my colon with the fast I did, but like that water liquid shit, and then no matter how much you keep dabbing, your ball sack are the size of your thighs.
Okay, what if it happened after a 3-day fast? Then you could fill your fucking mouth up with hard cock. Would be hungry after that.
No. That's so funny. Oh, that is a good piggyback question, though. Like, if you were starving on a deserted island and your life depended on it, you were legit starving.
Would you eat some cubbies?
Well, no. Let's say you were on there. You were on there with Mac. Let's say it was you and Mac, and you guys got stranded like Gilligan and the Skipper. And you guys literally ran out of food. There was a famine going on your small little island, and and let's say there was hope that you were going to survive because, like, I don't know, if I knew I was going to die anyway fairly soon, I'm not going to fucking go out like that. But let's say you guys could actually sustain yourself, and you had to cum in each other's mouths and swallow it for the nutrients.
I'd probably cum in my own mouth first because I got a huge sperm count.
How much nutrients would be in cum if you weren't eating? That's if there's already a famine. You know, how much protein's going to be in there? But let's just assume there is. Would you honestly do it?
Oh, yeah.
You guys could have a covenant. Nobody else is on that island. Be like, look, if we ever get off this island.
I'd probably fucking kill him and eat him. Just eat his fucking body.
But then your cum tap will be gone. Why? How does the old expression go? Don't buy a man some cum. Teach him how to cum. Wait, and he'll eat forever? Why would...
Oh, I said I just cum in my own mouth.
Yeah, why did I come up with that first? Why would you just drink your own cum?
Yeah, I would drink my own cum because I got a big sperm count. I'd have to chew that shit before I swallowed it anyway.
It'd be like curdled milk?
Yeah. I always laugh at that scene where Lea Thompson's kissing him and she like comes back. Like he looks funny in that shot. Like when he's leaning back and shit.
I really do like this scene a lot. It's really cool.
Hell yeah. Fucking George McFly, he seals his fate.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I can see down your shirt.
What do you think about Flea being in the second one? Isn't it weird that people were putting Flea in movies?
Yeah. Was he credited as Flea?
I don't know. Why was that a thing?
I don't know.
And
fleas are fucking annoying. Why would you want to be called Flea?
You know who else is in the second movie that doesn't have a speaking line, I don't think?
Who?
Billy motherfucking Zane. He's one of Biff's future henchmen, right?
Oh, yeah.
The easy way, right? They're hitting him over.
Yeah. You know what? He was in Critters. That's a donk film.
Oh my gosh, dude. So what did you think of Critters Attack? Who was it?
That's what I thought. It gets a out of 10.
Was you or Matt calling it basically if the Disney Channel produced it?
Yeah, he was saying that.
Is it like I saw the trailers for it and it looked like a Disney movie. It looked really campy and shitty. It didn't look like a Critters movie to me.
The campy one was fucking the one, the TV series one. That was the one that was like Troba movie.
And you liked that better?
I thought that was okay. I thought it was fun.
Were they made by two different peoples? Was there like a legal thing where they got separated, kind of like Chucky did, or is it by the same?
The TV show was made like a while back, and it just sat on the shelf, and it was gonna be on like some kind of different fucking streaming service that went under before it happened.
So
I think Sprint or something was gonna have one.
So if it was technically still the property of the same whoever owns the Critters, why would they release these so close to each other? Because it's really odd. Because it feels like that show just came out, and then we got this movie. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, apparently they're gonna make at least 2 more movies. It's gonna be like another trilogy or something.
Well, I mean, especially if the show and the new movie are so tonally different. But anyway, like what's so bad? What's so bad about it? Is it just over the top? Is it stupid? Does it not have any redeeming value to it at all?
It's just fucking boring. It's fucking the bare minimum of what no Charlie. Why no Charlie? Charlie's our boy.
Is Charlie alive?
Charlie Bounty Hunter.
Is that guy still alive?
They never even mention him. Yeah, he's alive in real life.
He's probably doing the con circuit. Like, why didn't they call me?
They got fucking D. Wallace to come do like a day's worth of shooting. It adds up to 5 minutes worth of film.
Yeah, I hate it when they fucking sandwich in like legacy people like into these new installments. It feels like pandering. It doesn't feel like fan service. It's like Terminator 3 when they have that brief cameo by the doctor from the first two movies, you know?
Oh,
He broke my arm. It's weird. It's off-putting. It's like, wait a second.
We should do Terminator 3 before we do the good ones.
We should. But it's weird though, man, because it's like I'm watching this Terminator movie and it's got a different guy playing John Connor. There's no Sarah Connor. And then they throw in a guy that was in the first two. It just fucking takes you out of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'd rather them just kind of establish something different than blend the two, because it's always fucking weird. And now they're going back to Edward Furlong being in the new one again, which is cool, but I accidentally read spoilers that I guess are pretty credible. And
yeah, he was telling us, he's like, I ain't gonna go fuck a scene. I'm like, you fucking Eddie Furlong was there in our hour of need, and you're not gonna be there for his. What a fucking asshole,
dude. I'm not gonna spoil it on here, but I ended up getting sucked down the rabbit hole on it because it was one of those Facebook spoilers where they pretty much spoiled it all in like a sentence, and you couldn't avoid it. It was unwarranted. But if it's true, which it seems like it is fucked up, and it explains why you don't see Edward Furlong in the trailer, and it explains why it seems centric on Sarah Connor's band of Powerpuff Girls. You know
what I would do if I was writing the movie? Fucking Eddie Furlong is his own dad. He blew a nut in his mom.
Well, okay, that was almost Marty McFly in this movie.
I love the scene,
dude. What if Marty McFly succumbed?
This is for all you lovers out there. Earth Angel, Earth Angel.
It's a classic scene. No, but what if Marty succumbed to the fucking what if his mom was just fucking fine as hell and he's like, I just can't take it, and what if Marty McFly secretly had one of those weird incest mommy kinks like you do and you won't admit it, and he was kind of digging it. He's like, oh man, I could fuck my mom.
I would have fucked her in this movie, babe.
No, but I'm saying, like, what if he did that? What would have happened?
That would have been donk.
That'd have been fucked up.
He would have gave birth to a fucking retarded version of himself
that had to save mankind one day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what do you think's the better time travel movie, Terminator or this? The original Terminator. This or the original Terminator?
Just by time travel standards, I'd say this. This one's more fucking interesting. Like, they just go back once and they never really mention it again. This
one goes to a lot more places, that's for sure. But I think the simplicity of the first Terminator, if you can disregard, there's no sequels. Let's say we're just talking about the first Terminator. They keep it so simple to where I think it's a more palatable and believable type of thing. Like, there's no error. There's no room for error. Mm-hmm. Not as much. Then when you start getting into T2 and stuff like that, then of course time travel is always flawed. Like, well, how do you fucking explain this and explain this and explain this? But I've always thought the first Terminator was just a perfect script. I think everything about it's great. I think it's paced great. It hits all the right beats. This movie too, you could say, I think it's pretty perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved Robert Zemeckis. Out of all the big commercial popcorn guys, he's always been my favorite. I know he was sort of the underling of Spielberg.
They don't feel like just popcorn movies, which is good.
Yeah, there's something about it. He was always, I think he was working directly under Spielberg for years. You know, I don't know. And then he got to do this movie and Spielberg produced it or whatever. But it feels like a Zemeckis movie. But it also kind of feels like he's somebody that worked under Spielberg for a long time. You know what I mean? There's kind of a similarity there. And so I love this. Who Framed Roger Rabbit's always been one of my favorite movies. You know, he did that. And he, of course, did Forrest Gump. And I know it's real hip for the film elitists to be like, that's the worst movie ever. Terrible film.
Yeah, why they do that now? I don't get that.
My ass. Like, you see some of the shit we've had to review and do commentaries for on this channel. Forrest Gump is not one of the worst movies ever. It is not a terrible film. You could pick it apart for inconsistent.
I want to hear their fucking reasoning because I never listened to it. It's just
They
they think that's a bad movie. It's just like, you've obviously never seen that many movies.
I don't really think they really ever have very good reasoning. I would like to challenge somebody in those Facebook groups that we're in, right? Where they house some of those types of elitists and really ask them why. The cinematography is good. The music is memorable. Everybody knows that fucking theme. The performance is great. It's got memorable quotes.
They appropriated retard culture. I think that's the reason.
And they kind of did, something.
I thought you were going to go with that. They kind of did appropriate retard culture.
They kind of did. They kind of did. But what they had a very clever idea that you can't say anybody else ever tried or nailed before. Let's write a story about this fictional guy that was there through all these pivotal points in history during his lifetime, and he somehow was a catalyst for him. Is awesome.
And he's a fucking idiot. He's just like a simpleton that doesn't realize he was in these big influential things.
It was such a unique way to tell a narrative about one guy, right? About Forrest Gump.
Look at this. They're fucking whitewashing the creation of rock and roll. I don't like it.
That is funny. Dude, if this came out today, you'd think there would be an uproar about that. If not the incest, they'd be like, oh, they're trying to take another thing from the black man. That is funny.
It's just fun little Easter egg.
Yeah, people need to stop thinking too much about stuff, right? People aren't thinking that much about this. You guys think people are being malicious and people are out to get a certain group of people. Sometimes it's just fun stuff and fun ideas. Like it's a movie. And like I said, like I was trying to get to with Forrest Gump, they took a clever way of telling a fictional story about a guy's life, a narrative, with the backdrop of a period piece, but they had a unique way of incorporating that period by having him go through all these events. It was a great idea. I mean, people are ridiculous.
The fact that you were saying he was like, he had some demons closet. I think that's awesome. The fact that rock and roll was created by a guy that liked to fucking shit and get pissed on, that's filthy. And rock and roll should be filthy. That's donk.
I know that's like fucking more Gigi than Gigi was.
Hell yeah.
You know what's funny is, do you think Marty McFly was really getting that much gain out of that guitar to shred like Eddie Van Halen? Did you see that sustain he had when he held that last note? Like my ass.
Oh, you leave Marty alone. He's a fucking guitar god.
See, what he did was he bit off more than he could chew, man. They're like, oh man, I'm digging this fucking music that's about, 3 years behind, 2 years behind, but I'm going to go straight into fucking 80s shred. And it's like, oh, you bit off too much, Marty. They ain't getting it.
Yeah. And that line's great. You guys aren't ready for that, but your kids are going to love it.
No, it's a great line. Yeah, this movie, 85, man, this is the height of fucking Van Halen. 1984, they were hot on that album, man. And actually 1985, this might have been when the breakup happened, because the first Van Hagar album came out in 86, because they pumped out albums like fucking nobody's business back then, right?
Like I pumped the cum out of my cock.
Yeah, they pumped out albums, Van Halen did, just like Zach pumps cum into his mom's cooter.
Hell yes.
Yeah. So
see, look at the fucking. You can just stick your dick right in between those titties.
Yeah, she's a pretty woman, man. And we could talk.
Pretty woman.
You know what's funny is we haven't even discussed the main talking point that everybody talks about, but Crispin Glover, right? And his weird career and what happened to him with this movie and the whole lawsuit of the second one.
I never noticed as a kid that that's not him in the second.
Yeah, me neither. I think I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't find out till probably 10 years ago.
I probably found out around the same time.
It's just like, well, I mean, I wasn't like internet savvy, and I didn't really have internet until, I'm like 33 years old, man. So about the time when internet was really common and I was able to have it, and you get your first smartphone, then you're like in the information, everything's coming at you. Now you have all this access to all these blogs and videos. Then this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it's like you probably had to have caught like a Wizard magazine that had an article on it, or you had to have just talked to some nerd that knew about it,
Mm-hmm.
And even then, you might have called bullshit and had to watch the movie for yourself and look at the credits.
See, like basically the lawsuit was about like, oh yeah, it's fine, you recast me, but you used archival footage from the first movie with me in it. So if they didn't do that, we definitely would have noticed it wasn't him, because it's like, why'd they reshoot that? Oh, that guy looks different. He's not wearing makeup and shit to make it look older.
So what was the resolution there? They had to pay him. Oh, he got paid.
Yeah.
And he still to this day, I think he gets residuals.
Mm-hmm.
He actually gets residuals from the movie. So yeah, you know what's weird is why did he turn down Back to the Future 2, or did he not get rehired? Which one was it?
I think he turned it down because he's busy.
He was either busy or maybe he wasn't into the big blockbuster thing. I don't think he had a good time. Is he one of the guys that's like, I did not have a good time working on that movie?
I don't know,
and the big studio thing and the way it operated. I also think at that point, I mean, if he was busy, he was busy. He got a fucking free paycheck. It's like Marlon Wayans with Batman Returns. He still collects residuals for being cast as Robin and then not even putting Robin in the movie. So good on him. But if he wasn't busy, and if it was just like for artistic purposes why he didn't want to do the movie, if they're already using your archival footage, you might as well see if you can get a bigger paycheck and just fucking do the one scene he's in. You know what I mean? Or whatever. He's like in that one scene, right?
He's
on the hover, or he's like upside down, the pizza, fucking that bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like that whatever. It was like an afternoon. It was like a day of filming. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they got out of him.
Maybe they rewrote it so that he's not in it as much after he didn't come back. Who knows?
He's like, oh, well, now I'll do it. Well, no, fuck you. If you're coming back, we're going to put it back in. Like, no. But I've always wondered what kind of money guys like that get in their payouts. You know, Eric Stoltz. It's so funny. We've gone almost the whole damn movie. We haven't brought up Eric Stoltz.
He was originally going to be Marty. Yeah, they shot that scene.
But it kind of goes back to what I said at the top of the movie is this shit's been beat to death. Everybody knows these. If you're into Back to the Future, you know about this stuff.
I didn't know that until the DVDs came out. It was really weird seeing fucking that scene because they put some of that footage and it was like, holy shit, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like a different person playing Marty.
They legit filmed quite a bit.
I'm glad that they switched though, because I know him from this role pretty much.
You might have known Eric Stoltz from this role, and maybe Michael J. Fox would have gotten the role as Rocky Dennis.
That would have been dog too.
Well, you have to wonder. It's like, oh, I'm glad it happened the way it did because Michael J. Fox, you know, he was made for this role. But how do we know Eric Stoltz wouldn't have been? Maybe the movie is it the actor or is the movie strong enough to where it could have elevated almost anybody else that was capable of doing a good enough job?
Apparently, when they were watching the dailies, they were saying he's not working, and that's the reason they recast him.
That's the way they nixed him. Like, yeah, it's just not doing it for us. Have they ever asked him what his opinions were like? Hey, do you ever feel bad when you see fucking Back to the Future on cable television?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I wonder if he got some sort of payout. He probably got to keep. I wonder if he probably was contracted, right?
That's not very common to recast somebody after you've already started shooting. So yeah, probably.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, his contracts. He probably just got to keep his money. But I wonder if he feels like shit, man. My fucking life would have been totally different. People like to play that what if game, but who knows, man? Maybe this movie is as great as it is because of the perfect storm, because everybody is just perfect. Maybe it's just one of those things. Maybe it would have been just as good. I don't know, but it would have been like a butterfly effect. Like if you were in this movie, maybe something else would have been shifted and it wouldn't be quite the hit it was today. Maybe it would be seen as a movie like fucking Zapped that never got a sequel, right?
It did get a sequel. Zapped again.
Oh.
It didn't have Scott Baio in it.
That's a bad fucking example then. What was that?
It had Linda Blair played a hot teacher in it, though.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, this could it have gone another way, and this would just be seen as like an 80s movie that had a cult following, but it wouldn't be the juggernaut that it is.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a perfect movie. I always liked fucking Michael J. Fox just because of this movie.
So I thought another a good idea for classics too, and it would contribute to Michael J. Fox exploitation, Teen Wolf. We still haven't done that.
Hell yeah.
You know? So, I mean,
that's a movie with a shitty sequel.
Yeah. I actually never watched the Jason Bateman one.
It is fucking abysmal.
Isn't it? Doesn't he play his brother? And doesn't it basically just?
Yeah, he's like a cousin or something.
Doesn't it just rehash the first movie? Is it like the same beats and everything?
Pretty much, but it's just less likable characters and fucking. I remember there's like a sing number in it, like a fucking musical number at some point, because they've just fucking ran out of shit to do.
What am I forgetting here? What are the other like classic Michael J. Fox movies? I mean, we named the biggies, Teen Wolf and this, and the sequels. What else am I forgetting? I know he made a couple of films, Mars Attacks and Doc Hollywood. He was into some 90s movies, but what other like classic movies was he in?
Life with Mikey's what I remember from growing up because it was always on HBO Family. He plays like, it's like him and this guy, they're like producers of like a TV show or something. Their talent agency or something. They hired like this little girl, and he used to be on the show Life with Mikey. Like that was a sitcom that he was on. I haven't watched it forever.
I don't think I'm missing. I'm trying to look at his movies to see if I'm missing. Yeah, like I said, he was into some 90s stuff, but I can't really find any movies that are...
Stuart Little.
Yeah, like Stuart Little. He was in The Frighteners, that Peter Jackson film.
I like that movie.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times.
I'm looking forward to Peter Jackson's back catalog getting put out on Blu-ray.
Did you ever see Casualties of War, that movie he did with Sean Penn?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is that really good?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Fucking Brian De Palma did that. He's donk.
Yeah, let me see what else he's been in here. It's too bad because I actually found... Oh, Homeward Bound. Fucking, of course.
Homeward fucking Bound. Tank movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in a lot of movies. And you ever see that movie Greedy with Kirk Douglas back in the day? There's Life with Mikey. I'm seeing it right. I've never seen this. I've never seen it. Will Class of 1984 count?
Class of 1984. I like that movie too.
So
he's only in it for a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Does it even count? But, you know, I keep...
He went by Michael Fox in that movie.
I literally just asked myself, like, oh, man, why did he just, like, fucking stop? Like, he could have been even bigger. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole ailment. Because he really did. Even though he went to TV, because he was on Spin City, and he was on that for years, and that's when it started happening. We got to watch his condition worsen on a sitcom that came back every season. You know, that's kind of weird, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you you watch him in those end seasons, and it's really, he started off normal, and then we literally saw it progress, and he got to a point where he had to leave the show and get replaced by The Sheen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they remember the short-lived Michael J. Fox show?
Yeah, you can't. So why did he quit Spin City only to, well, I mean, he was probably new to dealing with the disease. You know what I mean?
The Michael J. Fox show came way later. It's like 5 or 6 years ago or something.
I know, and it starred the ugly, annoying chick from Breaking Bad as his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Hank Schrader's wife, I know. And it got canceled. I think it got canceled after like one season. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess when he left Spin City in the mid-late 90s, him being sort of new to a...
Oh, the episode of fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm he's on should be considered a fucking classic movie.
It's classic. That's one of the... Well, it's amazing, man, because it's like him taking he's joking about, you know, his stuff. And I mean, that's one of the best things you could do, I guess, you know? That's a crazy episode.
Play the hand you're dealt, yeah.
Can you imagine, like, whose pitch was that? Did Larry David go to him with that pitch? Like, hey, look, let's totally brighten up your fucking ailment here, and let's, like, have me mock it, or not intentionally mock it.
It might be one of those things where he came up with the idea and just, like, said it, or something like that.
And they're like, oh my God, we're glad you said it, because we would have never said that to your face.
Because he probably wanted to get back into it, but...
That's funny.
Like, yeah, it just never happened.
Were you pleased with the quasi-meta Seinfeld reunion within the show?
Yeah.
Instead of a real Seinfeld reunion?
Yeah, it's that's what I love about that show. It's like you expect, oh yeah, this season's going to end with a fucking... a Seinfeld episode, but they didn't do the easy fucking thing that you thought they would do.
No, but it was really cool, though, because you kind of got... Yeah, it was like the weird meta fucking thing. You kind of got a little bit of it, and I think... In that episode, didn't they sort of like mention the whole Kramer thing?
They made a joke about it.
That's so funny, man. Is that streaming anywhere besides HBO Now or whatever, HBO Go or whatever it is?
It was on fucking Prime for a long time. Hey, Buck Flower playing the homeless guy.
I watched another movie the other day that had Buck Flower that I forgot all about. I can't remember. He was a homeless guy again, and it was a movie I totally lost tabs on. Like, holy shit, this is another one.
Yeah. He was the go-to homeless guy for a while.
Is he the homeless guy in Beethoven as well?
He might be, yeah.
You know, hey, good work.
Actually, I think you mentioned that, and I think we looked and didn't see him on there.
Okay, I always wondered. But yeah, he was sort of that go-to guy, as he said.
That was probably the go-to guy, and he was probably busy doing Back to the Future, so they got a different guy to play him.
Beethoven came out in 1990, dude.
Oh.
Know your fucking dog movies, bro. They can't all be Homeward Bound.
Fuck yes, that's a great film.
I don't remember if it's Hulu or Prime, but they just I think it's Hulu. They put Beethoven 1 and Beethoven 2. And the nostalgia is real with those movies for me, and I watched them both recently. They're fun for what they are. If I have kids, I'm going to let them watch Beethoven.
You never watched the Bingo movie, right?
He's like a canine Macaulay Culkin, you know.
Yeah, that's one that's really fucking nostalgic for me.
I never watched it. Like I've said before, a long ass time ago, my mom bought us that movie. I think he used that at a Blockbuster or some video store.
And you never watched that shit?
We never watched it. We never watched it.
It had that tagline on it. You never put that in?
And that dog looking all fucking rad 90s with sunglasses on the front. Yeah, we never watched it.
I would have put that in right away.
No, dude. We're like, yeah, we don't want to watch this.
This is a fucking rad dog.
Dude, I'm trying to think of how old I was. This would have been in like 97, 98. So I was 11 and 12 years old. I was kind of getting into different stuff. I'm like, yeah, Mom, dog movies was so fucking 2 years ago.
They need to make a movie about a radical Islamic terrorist that has a cover like that, and he's just rad. He surfs and skateboards and shit. Just completely divert your fucking expectations.
I remember in 1997, I really wanted to go see Scream 2 in the theaters.
I did too.
Because you know, at the time, I really liked Scream 1. You know, that came out in 96 or whatever, I think, and
I remember I saw that on video. I never heard about it, and my mom and my uncle, the one that died really young, he like got me into a lot of horror stuff, and like the first time I ever heard of Metal Gear Solid was from him, and they were both watching it, and I was like, "What's this?" And I sit down and watch it. I guessed the killer correct. They were like, "No, they already fucking thought that. They explained it away. It's not him." I'm like, "I think it is him," and I was fucking right, baby. But yeah, like 2 months later, the fucking sequel was coming out in the theaters, and I couldn't go.
Yeah, I remember I never got to go to the cinema back then, ever. I never did. But what my mom might do, my dad might do, was, you remember they used to have like pay-per-view when a new movie was coming out. It hit pay-per-view first, and you could rent it, and it would play all day, like 24 hours. So that's where I'd get to see Scream 2, right? They rented Scream 2 on that, and I'd get to watch it, and they'd I remember I was obsessed with Alien, man. And so Alien Resurrection came out in 97 also.
He has the T2 Liquid Metal guy's chest plate. That's what I always thought of when
Doc Brown should have did responsibly and went into the future and stopped Skynet. Or he should have. What if they made a deal to where they made a crossover and Doc Brown went back in time to fucking save John Connor, and he was like the Terminator.
He does what the fucking robots can't do. Exactly. Fucking stupid robot. I never sent a machine to do a man's job.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So, Zach, what say you? I read some comments, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Should we reread the comments we did on the episode where we were getting interrupted, or just...
No, well, it's funny because I think David Kaffer said that it was pretty. He said he laughed out loud when I was in the middle of his question. I kept getting interrupted. All right. No. We'll keep it going, man. That episode's fun for what it is, and everything gets across. Adrian Mendoza. It's funny how we like to start with you, man. Short Circuit 2 commentary. He says this week's episode is pretty gay. Thanks. I'm pro circumcision. He says most guys that I've come in contact with have a foreskin are Hispanic, though I'm cut or uncut, right?
Yeah, dude, I imagine you could do like those fucking Chinese figure cuff things. You could do that with the skin. You put your finger in it and pull on it and just tighten.
Chinese dick traps.
Yeah.
That's weird, man. He says the film Zach is talking about with the teenager eating out an adult woman is called Ken Park. The actor who jerks himself off in the film is James Ransone and will be in the sequel to It coming out this fall. I wouldn't mind if you guys did a cinema enema on Ken Park.
I love that movie, actually. I really like that movie.
If you elect it as one of your choices, man. I mean, we got to do Wicker Man here real soon. We'll do that real soon, man. Maybe next week. We can do that next week if you want. But yeah, so we got that coming up. Then it's going to revert to my choice. And then if Zach wants to make that his choice, that's on him. I'd be down for any of it.
I want to do both the fucking, that guy's David Clark, or whatever his name is. He has 2 movies I really like. I want to do both.
Adrian caps it off with, Aaron, I'm sorry for the multiple comments. I noticed that you sometimes apologize for all the comments, man. Don't apologize. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Keep loading them up, man. Comment as much as you want. We love reading them, so it's incredible.
It's like apologizing, we were bricking in someone's mouth, and then we apologize. Like, I'm sorry. This is good shit.
I mean, if I was about to eat, it would not be welcome.
Exactly.
Night of the Demons 2 commentary, Tyler Johnson. I don't know if we've ever seen you comment before, Tyler, but thank you so much. But I'm going to actually, you know what? I might take that thank you back. You know why?
I figured it was probably just, I wanted to watch the movie though.
No, because they say no one wants to hear you guys talk. We just want to watch the movie for free. Zach, take over. Take over for a second. Why don't you take this one?
Why you guys to be like that?
I mean, clearly there's some people that don't mind hearing us talk because it clearly says commentary. We're a podcast. You know what I mean?
Makes me think, should we just stop putting the name of the movie? Just be like, hey, it's a commentary. You can find out what movie it is when you click on it.
Do you ever waste time? I mean, I've went to videos on YouTube thinking, okay, most likely this is not going to be available. But every now and again, you might find like yeah,
it's the exception when you find it.
Look, yeah. Every now and again, you might find a Mr. Nanny. Or it's like, hey, it's on here or something, right?
Yeah, it's movies that like they're probably copyrighted, but nobody gives a fuck.
But I don't feel entitled to it. I don't like expect it. Or sometimes if I stumble on something that isn't or whatever, like, oh, I just back out and go somewhere else. I don't fucking like take the time to be like, hey, fuck you. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
If we were trolling you and we had one of those annoying videos that say, go to this fucking link if you want to watch the full movie, and we have it looping for an hour and 50 minutes they do that. They loop it for the length of the movie.
Yeah.
To make you really think that's a bait and switch. We're a fucking commentary. Fucking deal with it or get off our dicks, right?
Shit or get off the pot.
That's exactly right. Now go back to fucking your mom. All right.
I will.
Okay. But regardless, I still appreciate you stopping to comment, and hopefully you have a change of heart and you come back. So, or somebody, he actually got some likes on his comment too. I'm going to like it as well.
See, I would have liked that if I noticed it.
All right. So Feline Fatale, I love these comments. He said,
it's felon fatal.
Man, I'm so sorry. Are you a female or a guy? I really don't know. Right. But regardless,
that sounds like a screen name a chick would pick.
Yeah, you think that's
what I'm saying. That?
No, it does.
I figured it was a chick.
Dude, Feline Fatale. I think the avatar is a woman, but I'm saying you never know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like to assume.
It's like whenever I was like 12 years old and I used to go on the Yahoo chat rooms and pretend to be a woman and say like, oh, I want to fuck.
No, you didn't.
And then I'd wait till they're like fucking all going and shit and be like, hey, dude, I'm a dude.
No,
it's pretty dog.
You didn't do that.
Yeah, it's pretty dog.
Did you really do that?
All the time.
Are you serious?
Hell yeah.
Dude, you're fucked up. You're so fucked up. You were like To Catch a Predator baiting people. And it's kind of on you if you're posing to be like an adult woman. You should have upped the ante and pretended to be like, actually, you probably didn't have to pose. You could be like, hey, I'm an underage kid, boy. You probably would have got every trucker, this side of the fucking Atlantic, right? Anyway, Feline Fatale, love your comments. They say, the way Zach gushes over Vera Farmiga is how I feel about Patrick Wilson. Hell yeah, baby.
That's how I feel about Patrick Wilson, too. I'd fuck them both.
Yeah, he's a handsome dude, man. And like I commented on there myself. I bet you he got all the tail that he could handle. I really do, man. Good looking dude.
You ever see, what's that movie? His first movie, Hard Candy.
Oh, with, what's her face? Who's the girl in that? Yeah.
Ellen Page, where he plays a pedophile.
I never watched it. I've seen it a million times, like out there. I've just never watched it.
It's good.
Is it good?
It's good, but I always felt like the ending was anticlimactic.
Well, one of these days I should watch it. Maybe Ellen Page was more tolerable back then. She's just not my cup of tea as an actress. But anyway, Mendoza chimed in. He said, Patrick Wilson is a tall glass of water. And he said he was betting a young Scarlett Johansson 15 years ago. Wow.
Dog.
So anyway, definitely agree with you there. He's a good looking dude. He deserves all the behind he gets. Let's see here. On our Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, we posted that one a couple of weeks ago, that completed our Freddysploitation.
That turned out to be a dog commentary.
It really did. It rounded out and completed our Freddysploitation finally. We saved the worst for last, and we made a fun time out of it. So definitely check that out and all of our other Freddy commentaries that are out there. But our own Josh James, well, our surrogate, he seems like our own.
Did you call him Josh James?
No, I said Josh James.
We should make a t-shirt. Josh James. Just put his head on Joss Whedon's body.
We can't make a t-shirt of every shitty idea you have, Zach. We got to have some like quality control here. Like you got guys out there listening, you should see the ideas he fucking throws out. We should make this a shirt. I'm like, dude, we got to fucking cut it somewhere. Like just fucking throw. It's like that South Park episode where they greenlight every Netflix idea.
Why not? Why not? They're not going to get made unless somebody buys it. We might as well throw everything out there.
You don't want too many fucking weird options, dude. You want like the meat and potatoes, the good shit. You want the best stuff represented.
All I come up with is good shit.
Okay. Josh James says, great commentary. I think Zach and I have agreed that 2 is the best in the series, and I disagree that this is worse than Freddy's Dead. Also, who is Mr. P. Shivers? That clip at the end has me concerned you have a problem on your hands. Okay. Josh really wants this P. Shivers things to happen, and I don't know if it's going to happen.
I don't know why would he want it to happen? It's just some guy calls in.
Okay, so the Mr. P. Shivers things, he wants it to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't know if P. Shivers is on my side.
P. Shivers t-shirt.
I don't know if P. Shivers is on our side, or on my side. But I've never said that I disagreed with the notion that 2 was the best. I think 2 is arguably my favorite, even though part of me also wants to say the first one might edge it out, but the first one's been so played out. You know what I mean?
I'm the guy that can't decide if I like 2 or 3 better.
Okay.
I think I like them both, but for different reasons.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I'm definitely not arguing with anybody that says 2's the best. Let's just put it that way. I think it's a great movie. It's underlooked, and I think it's kind of finally getting its due with fans. You know, in the past like 10 years or whatever, it seems like people love the fuck out of it now. So, and let me see, as far as Freddy's Dead he thinks Freddy's Dead is worse than 5.
Really?
I don't know. I think the case we were making, if we were making a case, was they're both tubs of shit. Mm-hmm. They're both garbage. But my thing is, at least Freddy's Dead at the end of the day, I think was...
Some of the things that redeem Freddy's Dead are some of the worst things.
So I think Freddy's Dead accomplished what it was trying to do better than what 5 was doing, if that makes sense. 5 was super stale because it was kind of rounding out a trilogy of better movies, right? Mm-hmm. It had this instant connection to the 3rd and the 4th, and they were much better flicks.
5 was the one where they were literally like, oh yeah, it doesn't even matter what we put on the people are going to pay to see this no matter what we put. And then they realized real quickly, like, no.
It was like a generic cutting room floor, never should have been made version of what the 3rd and the 4th one were kind of doing, and it wasn't good. At least Freddy's Dead, as shitty as it is, this is what it has going for it, if I'm going to be nice at all. At least at this point, it knew it was over the top. It knew what Freddy was, right? They realized that Freddy had become a caricature of himself, and so they went all out with it, like with the fucking Witch of the West, Wicked Witch of the West, Wizard of Oz references, all the film references, the product placements, the celebrity guest spots.
That's literally like the only reason it's like, oh, I kind of remember that finally. When you watch it, it's like, this fucking script is bad. Like,
it's shit.
The John Doe thing, like, what's this?
It's terribly shitty. But like I said, at least it has that stuff to stand apart from the 5th one, where the 5th one seems to be on the shoulders of 3 and 4, and 3 and 4 is good. And 5, that's at least this one stands apart. And it's the minus fucking Freddy's Dead. This is the only movie that was in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So it's got that like 1991 grudge all over it, right? It's got the 90s like Goo Goo Dolls music. It's got the fucking 90s early alternative rock music on the soundtrack. Everybody's dressed in like 90s clothes. Even the camera work kind of looks like those early 90s movies, kind of like Pet Sematary 2, you know? How like the movies just looked a little different.
That's getting a Blu-ray release soon, by the way.
Is it really?
Scream Factory, baby.
Really, finally. Is it getting one of their special editions, the treatment?
Hopefully.
Dude, it's about time. It's about time. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's got that 90s thing about it. So at least it's kind of got that. And I do have a thing for, once again, I hate the movie. It's not good. But I do love 90s movies. I love movies that came out in 91, 92, 93. There's something about it. That's my era. And so I love albums that came out around that time. I think that's when albums sounded the best. You know, like towards the end when they were still using analog, right before they went digital with Pro Tools and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they had peaked with the fucking tape cutting and the analog, and it was just the best it ever sounded. And to me, I love that. So as much as the movie's shitty, I'm trying to find good things to set it apart from 5. Like I said, it's two pieces of shit competing with each other. So I don't really know. I don't want to watch either of them.
Now that I'm thinking about it, part 5 might be a little better.
They're both shitty, man. Okay, you know what? Are we gonna? If we didn't already do a commentary for it, I would take the Pepsi challenge and we'd watch both of them back to back. That's the only way. I think that's the only way we could have like a legit, solid opinion, right?
Yeah.
Because they're so close in shittiness that I don't want to have this conversation. But if we watch them back to back, maybe we could be like, all right, I wanted to kill myself a little less on this one, or I had like one less thought of suicide doing that one. But whatever, they're both bad. Let's see. So the movie ended, by the way, and the credits a few minutes ago. And let me go ahead and round out some more comments. See, Zach, the latter half of this movie flew by, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what else we got here? Oh, man. Okay. So we got on the same commentary, Dream Child, Nightmare on Elm Street 5. William Lowry says, guys, I had a lot of fun at Crypticon, more so than I thought I would. Thanks for letting me help out at the booth. Plus, I gained a lot of insight as to how I can shape my content and expand Gamer Guys reviews in the years to come. Here's hoping we cross paths again in 2020. It was a good time, man.
Oh yeah. I was going to tell that story. The story of the hot chick that was our waitress.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, like Gamer Guys was all like, hell yeah, this chick, she's hot. And, basically, you guys were talking, the con got brought up, and she's like, oh yeah, I should go tomorrow. And I'm sitting there the whole time thinking she ain't gonna go. She ain't gonna go. And Gamer Guys is like, oh yeah, maybe we'll see her tomorrow. And I'm like, dude, she ain't going.
No, dude, she wanted a tip. She was talking nice because that's what waitresses do. They schmooze and stuff, and they put a smile on, and they make banter so they can get the tip. It's like when we left her the tip, we all kind of put our cash together and we put it on the table, and I just let her know that, hey, that cash is yours. That's not part of the check. And with my card or card or whatever. And I'm like, hey, I just said that's for you. And she's like, oh my God, really? I'm like, it's not like we laid down a stack of hundreds. Like she was overdoing everything because she's a server. We left her a good tip. It was a 30% tip. But
her water game was on point.
But you can't tell a 20 versus a 30% tip when you're looking at a stack of bills. You can't. Mm-hmm. So she was just fucking playing the server game, man. She was trying to make that money. So, but
yeah, we did. I mean, she could have showed up and just been up there the whole time where we weren't.
I don't think she did. I would put my house on the line. You know what? I was rooting for it though. Why not?
I was gonna troll Gamer Guys. It's I went to the fucking Facebook of the fucking what was the restaurant called again?
Was it
Texas Roadhouse?
Texas Roadhouse, yeah.
I went there and I was like, oh please have a picture, just like, oh she works here, so I can fucking get a picture of her, and then I can make some donk memes.
This guy was stalking fucking poor people that worked at fucking St. Charles, Missouri location of Texas Roadhouse.
I sent Aaron pictures. I was like, is this her? I don't know.
I'm like, no, that's not her at all. Like, you don't remember what she looks like? We just saw her.
I'm terrible with faces.
And names. But anyway, here we go. Next comment, Mendoza. Again, he says, in response to the Dream Child, I will check out Dear Zachary. A documentary that I like and recommend is Capturing the Friedmans. It focuses on the 1980s investigation of Arnold and Jesse Friedman for child molestation. I watched Midsummer last night and enjoyed it. Cannot wait to listen to Cinema Enema. Jim Jones is an interesting character, and I recommend checking out this great documentary PBS did on Jim Jones and Jonestown back in 2006, and he links us. So we'll have to check that out.
I like those PBS documentaries. Those actually work kind of as like podcasts. You don't even really need to watch the visual. It's mostly like archival footage. and then they have talking heads explaining shit. So it's like I would listen to podcasts of these.
Yeah. So it's good shit, man. Next up, William Lowry. Oh, sorry, my bad. No, Feline Fatale again. Still talking about the Dream Child here. The ways that. Wait, I already read this. Dude, I'm fucking reading repeats now because all this shit's all over the place. My bad.
I thought you were going to say, dude, I'm fucking reading Rainbow.
They're like, oh, I'm gushing for Zach right now. That's what they were saying. We got a fucking comment on Schizophreniac, man.
Hell yes.
Well, this machine kills. That's the commenter. Well, this machine kills.
That's a dog name.
They simply state, God bless Harry Russo. Right?
Hell yeah.
We got an old school Stephen Jeffries interview comment here from listener by the name of Tiffany W. Well, technically they were a viewer because that's a video. She says, he seems very modest and shy. Loved seeing him in the horror films. Was he ever part of the Corey Feldman-Haim friendship? He wasn't very modest when he was doing all that gay porn.
Hell yeah.
But I don't know. Was he part of the whole, the Coreys, the two Coreys?
I don't know.
So
I've seen him nut, and it was pretty donk. I mean, no, it wasn't. See, I fucking romanticized into the story. It was just, it wasn't that dank. It was just kind of, it was anticlimactic.
As fun fact though, I don't know if he was part of that clique, of the Corey clique. Are you familiar with Limited Run Games, Zach?
Mm-mm.
Okay, they're a company that puts out limited runs of different titles, and one of the things they put out a lot of physical copies of indie games that were just digital before, and they've been doing a lot of re-releases of Sega Seed games. They were the ones that put out Night Trap on PS4 and Switch, right? And they put out Flashback on the Switch and PS4, and I fucking missed it because they pretty much eventually sell out in the pre-orders because that's how they do it. They have to make their pre-orders first, and when you pre-order it, they take your money right away because like they have the deals worked out where they have to like have at least 1,000 orders to do a print. You know what I mean? Like it's a certain thing. And they had a Corpse Killer one, which I missed it. It was like a few weeks ago and that sold out. I didn't even realize it. So now I joined their mail list so I don't miss anymore because they always end up going on eBay,
Nobody likes that fucking game.
But it's nostalgia for me, man. It really is. Anyway, I did pre-order remember that Double Switch, that Corey Haim game? It also had Arlie Ermy.
Oh yeah.
I caved. I'm like, I got to get this. What they're doing though is they're making special editions of all these games and they're including a piece of memorabilia, a random piece of memorabilia with each game. And it's totally random. Like, I think like with the Corpse Killer one, they were giving out, real life scripts that were used to fucking make it.
I thought you were going to say real life corpses.
Yeah. Corey Haim's fucking thumbs or fingers or toenails. No, they were giving out, some people were getting copies of sealed copies of the 3DO Corpse Killer game, just shit like that. But on this one, the Double Switch, they're giving out actual memorabilia that was used to make the fucking thing. So anyway, that's just kind of nostalgic. The games are shitty. They're not good, but they are what they are. And then as far as our next comment, I don't know if they were friends. We'll have to ask them. Well, we'll have to ask one of them, right? That's bad. Let's see here. Oh, the Mask commentary. We got a comment from somebody that's over in that region of the world, man, in the Middle East, where fucking the Mask is hot to trot. And they simply just say good. With no period, no nothing. It's good. Like, all right. I'm cool with that.
So see, they weren't expecting they might have been like, I want to watch the movie. Then they were happy with our commentary.
That's so funny.
They were happy that there was commentary there. See, you're lying, guy.
We might have the biggest, dude, we got a lot of comments, so we're going to be here for a minute. Well, because we got a lot of catch up to do. Adrian Mendoza, he gives a timestamp of 1 hour, 20 minutes and 11 seconds. And he said, I'm sad that never happened. I don't remember what it is. It has something to do. I bet you it's something to do with dick sucking. You want to see?
Or the Vegas trip.
Whole talk with Casey Crypticon, though. I do hope Adrian Mendoza comes down so he can sleep with Aaron. And,
and me.
And Zach.
Hell yeah. We gotta fuck like stone test buddies.
Hey, you can leave that to Zach, man. Don't fucking dox me and put me in that shit.
I'm gonna fuck all night. Fuck Aaron and Adrian can fuck me.
Okay, so how did I know it was gonna be something like that? Come out to one of the cons, man, and it sounds like Zach's got a special evening planned.
You will definitely come.
Yeah, you guys can have your own room. I'll definitely be like bunking with River that night.
We'll fucking play games when we're laying in the beds and shooting our cubbies up at the ceiling, see who could get the farthest. Who could stick it to the.
Although it's so funny, I can't post it because I don't think Riverman would approve. You would get a kick out of the photo I took because Riverman and I ended up sharing a bed. It's so funny because we had all these rooms and all these people canceled and it just kind of got it whittled down to us three going. So I'm like, let's just fucking save some money. Let's just use one hotel room. No big deal. Todd and I have known each other over 20 years. We can sleep in the same bed together. It's no big deal. But that motherfucker snores like a lawnmower. It was terrible. I couldn't sleep, man. And I took these pictures of us in bed shirtless and it looked so gay. And I was sending them to his wife and stuff.
That should be a shirt.
Dude, I was sending him to his wife and stuff as a joke with like a really sad face on me and with a and Todd is like, look, I wasn't naked. I had clothes on. Look, I like to sleep naked, but I'm courteous, man. If I'm in that situation and we're in a hotel room, I'm going to sleep with pajamas or clothes on. I'm not going to fucking do that. Todd starts fucking stripping down. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I like to sleep naked. I'm like, dude, come on. So do I, but I'm not I'm with Holding here. I'm not doing it. He's like, oh, I don't give a shit, man. I'm like, oh, and these were not queen beds. These were full beds, a little smaller. And Todd, he's a bigger dude. What can I say? Let's say I didn't have as much room on this bed. And literally when in the middle of the night, when he was sleeping, dude, I literally had the first night I was feeling some ass pressing against me. I'm like, I don't like this at all. And,
against your dick?
No, I was making sure to stay like flat or whatever. But we did that trick then where, I laid over the sheet and he was laying under the sheet and we both had the comforter. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we had that layer protecting me from touching too much of Todd. I don't want to know him that well, but
see, I was smart. I brought fucking earphones. I didn't hear his snoring.
But dude, okay. So I was hearing a snoring all night and then early in the morning, I still hadn't slept yet. Even Todd's starting to wake up. He's like, what? And then we hear Zach fucking in his sleep. He tells us the night before, which I've heard about it on the commentaries, but I don't think Riverman. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm known to have night terrors. Okay. Like I just wake up in the middle of the night screaming bloody murder. Like, okay. And I mean, you didn't have to convince one of us not to sleep with you. I had already decided before that I was going to like bunk with Todd. It's cool. But anyway, so the morning comes, early morning. Todd's waking up now at this point. It's like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or something. And all of a sudden we hear Zach in his sleep go, it was like a fucking hound dog that had been shot or caught in a bear trap, and he just kept doing that.
I was dreaming that I was beating my fucking idol, Pauly Shore.
No, that's 100% what it sounded like, and it brought up the question, like, do some people dream they're other things other than themselves? Is he having a dream that he's a dog? Like, that's weird. I've only ever had a dream where I'm myself.
It was probably a light fucking little scream. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what I dreamed.
Or maybe it could have been confused and what it was maybe you were getting sodomized. Maybe you were having a prison dream and you were fucking getting your asshole greased.
I would have been fucking screaming. I would have been panting, but not screaming.
Maybe you were having a night terror that you were in the movie Animal Factory and you were Edward Furlong and Tom Arnold was prepping your asshole with his thumb.
That would be my greatest dream.
So, but it was really fucked up. And when we heard that, me and Tom was like looking at each other. Our eyes, we were like still just kind of laying down like, what the fuck? Like, do we wake him up? What the hell is going on here? I wish I didn't think about it because Todd fucking hogged the charger by the bed and my phone. I should have grabbed my phone and took a video. It was weird, but
hell yeah.
Anyway, that's fun stuff. I'm glad that came up. Amityville 2, The Possession. We got a couple of comments from Juan Beltran Aristide. I think that's how I said it. If I messed it up, I apologize. Don't think I've seen you around these parts here, Juan, but thank you so much for these great comments.
And he left the greatest comment ever.
They are the greatest, and I don't know how to comment on it. I really don't know how to comment on it. And I'm sorry. Oh, actually, it's just one big comment, but he posted it a couple of times. But regardless, I digress. Zach, I might let you comment on this because I don't know what to say, and I don't want to I'm not here to criticize, I don't know what to say, but at the same time, I kind of want to vomit. Okay. He says, I also had my first sexual experience with my older sister, and it was great.
Fuck yes.
We had a great time. She, I'm going to try and have a straight fucking face when I say this. She only regrets it in the sense that I felt extremely attached to her and constantly needed her. It was a very passionate relationship. But then I started to have girlfriends, and so it gradually diminished. And now we're both married, and still, I wish I could be with her. I was 17 and she was 30. What the fuck?
See, that last part makes me think it might have been a troll.
Sorry. What?
The last part makes me think it could have been a troll. But I hope not.
No. This sounds very serious. Are you kidding me? This is not a troll. This is not a troll at all.
That last part is what I would say if I was trolling.
What? I was 17 and she was 30?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems very trolly. It seems like the punchline to the joke or something.
No, it doesn't. 17 to 30, it's not a big deal. He already said at the beginning that she was older, you know? So this comes off very, I hate to use the word sincere when it comes to sister fucking, but he seems sincere, like in what he's saying. It seems legit, right?
Like maybe she looks like the chick in the movie did. I don't blame him.
You know, and you know what? It's possible with his name, he might be in America, but he might also be in a Latin American country too, right? I don't.
Oh yeah.
And it might be 17 and 30, and maybe that stuff's not fucking strange.
Oh, it's a hot fucking Latino chick. That's fucking hot.
That's really weird. But like I said, I ain't trying to judge. I was just reading your question, and I have no idea.
I'm gonna be looking for that. I'm gonna be looking for a porno. Is a Latino chick? What's her brother's cubbies?
I wonder if somebody like this is open with this in their normal life, right? Because he doesn't seem to have a screen name. This looks like a legit name. So if this is something you kept to yourself, it doesn't, you would want to maybe keep it anonymous. I mean, maybe
he wouldn't mind us putting this comment on a shirt and selling it.
That's so funny, man. It's funny. Hold on. My brother's at the house right now and he's downstairs and he just texted me. That must be like some lethal shit you're taking up there. Cause he heard me doing the, That's so funny. No, I'll explain it to him after. No, but yeah, I don't know what to fucking say. You know what? I'm going to leave it to people that are going to comment on me.
I'd say congratulations.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know. It's weird. It's like, why do we like the scene? I don't like that scene in Amityville, The Possession, because I want to endorse like sister fucking.
That scene where he's up at his room and he just looks out the window like, I need you. I'm needing. That was his whole thing. Like his sister regrets it only because he became more like that.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm curious what all you guys out there have to say about the topic, right? I'll leave it to the other listeners. Moving forward on the mask, we got another comment from somebody from that part of the country, but it's completely in their language, so I can't read it. It's clear, you know, in that Arabic writing.
You should put it in translate.
I don't know how to copy from the app, actually. I don't know if I can copy on YouTube comments.
I'll have that ready and we'll do it next time.
Okay, good luck with that. If you can do it, I'm impressed. Because it looks like a bunch of scribbles. It's really hard. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it says fuck off or something. Hey, somebody else from that country probably speaks the language because they got a like on it.
Hell yeah.
David Capper, the sex magician.
David
Copperfield. He says, you couldn't cut the cringe with a knife, quote unquote. Quote of the commentary, he says. And by the way, he's talking about Night Train to Terror, the failed commentary at Kansas City Crypticon we mentioned earlier. Yeah, you could cut the cringe with a knife. That's the quote of the commentary, he says. He says, I like this one. It really captured the energy, chaos vibe of the con. I actually laughed out loud as the cosplay announcer interrupted the reading of my comment. You couldn't write that sort of comedy timing. Next year, I'll come down and do an unplugged set at the booth. D.
Oh yeah, and that fucking guy that we were like, that sounds like William Lowry. We didn't mention it on the commentary, but we talked to William later, and he's like, that wasn't me. And I'm convinced he's fucking trolling because that sounds just like him.
It sounds 100% like him. Well, there was two guys. I only heard that guy a couple of times. Mainly was the other dude that we ended up befriending, who I think we're going to have on the podcast sometime. He said he'd come on.
Hell yeah.
So he was a fucking rad ass dude. So he was the one doing all the handling all the what's it called, Q&As.
Q&As, yeah.
Yeah, cool dude, very cool dude, very funny. He works with Todd Sheets. You know, he's been in some of that guy's movies. He does some like B grade movies.
Sex Squatch.
Oh yeah, he was this movie called Sex Squatch. I want to check out.
He said don't. The only reason to watch, the only thing worth noteworthy is the name Sex Squatch.
At least he's honest, you know. So we got here. Well, this machine kills again. Good to see you back. Sounds like you're new to the channel, man. Thanks for going through all these commentaries here. Have fun. He says, damn, that UB40 music in the background is a real throwback. Kind of random for a horror con, though. Dude, I feel you. The whole thing was a random mashup of old top 40 hits all weekend.
I'm surprised we didn't get fucking flagged on YouTube.
You got fucking Down on Main Street in there. You got Bruce Springsteen in there. And yeah, UB40 and shit. I'm surprised DeBarge, maybe DeBarge did play. I don't know. But it was really odd, you know. But who knows? Horror fans, they could be into all sorts of stuff, I guess. Joshua James also said, this is all, the last of these are all Night Train to Terror, by the way. Josh James says, most annoying con ever in regards to the audio, but fun podcast, though. Most cons don't pump 80s and make announcements every 5 minutes. In fact, I've never been to one that does. Either way, you guys prevailed and had a fun show. It was revival history in the making, so good on you. Look forward to the second commentary failure episode. Did we prevail? I mean, we actually failed because Todd shut off the fucking movie on accident. And we couldn't get back because it was an anthology and each of the movies was its own scene. It's like, we're never going to find where we were.
The fucking, the DVD was so shitty. The movie had 4 chapters and they were just randomly put throughout the movie.
And so it was already so chaotic. We were trying to get through it. But no, I agree for the amount we did, you know, which was almost over an hour and 10 minutes, whatever it was, you know, for the hour 15, we got it. We got enough content in there. And for the amount we did, it was fun and we did a good job. I'll give us that. I'll pat you on the back, Zach. You pat me on the back. And we're going to finish off with Adrian Mendoza, also commenting, of course, on Night Train to Terror. He says, the titties in this film are nice. I enjoyed this commentary. I like it raw. It's nice that all 3 of you guys got a chance to hang out and do a couple of commentaries. One forgets that you guys are spread out by a couple of states. More than a couple, my friend. Well, not Zach and Todd, but me and Zach, quite a distance there. He says, 57:44. He says, surprise, guys, that was really me. And he says at 1 hour and 23 minute mark, Zach, if it's true, I will totally suck your dick. Do you know what he's talking about?
No.
And he also says, I love Riverman. Yeah. We love Riverman too, man. And I like the dynamic we have. I like the bicker when we do. But everybody, thank you so much for all the comments. And thanks for the feedback on that Raw episode. That was a big deal for us to pull off something like that. I think like with anything new, there's some hiccups. It doesn't always go off without a hitch. But like you guys mentioned, we made do and we prevailed and we did what we did. And we'll definitely learn better for the next time. That's for sure. There's always regrets. Like I left thinking, oh man, I wish we would have did more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's always going to be the case. But we did get some cool shit. Zach got some cool.
I left regretting that I never macked on that chick that I mentioned to that commentary.
The mom?
Yeah, the Bob.
Who wasn't that attractive? You kept talking her up and I kept like going to swing back and rubberneck and I'm like, I don't see it, but good for you.
Oh, that's good. You suck.
It's all you, my friend. But no, Zach did, he recorded some video footage one day. And I think the idea is to do like a compilation, sort of like an edit and put up a video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I was kind of, at first I was torn about posting the second commentary we attempted because it was a bit more of a failure. But I don't know. I just remember it being hectic, but that's because I was dealing with even more of the interruptions, because it was later in the day when it was busier. That first commentary we did, the Night Train, it was before the general public was open. So it wasn't quite so crazy yet. Now the second one, we had a lot of walk-ups, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had people walking up to the table and interrupting, and then Todd was selling his fucking movies while we were doing a podcast, and it was even more raw. So
and William Lowry's on that one too.
Yeah, and it got cut off even earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was hesitant on even like
it is over an hour long though.
Yeah, so at the time I was hesitant that would even make it, right? Like maybe this one doesn't quite cut it. I was a little more frustrated. It was a little bit more off the cuff. We had walk-ups talking to us. But when we listen back to the audio, the microphones did their jobs, and I don't think the audio in the back is as protruding as I thought it was, right? Like it's not that bad. It's fine. And who knows? You guys liked that raw one. Maybe you guys liked us more. I thought maybe it was just going to be some sort of content, maybe not an official commentary, but it sounds like if Zach gives it the seal of approval because he's the one that's got the file now, I say we put it up to. Why not? Maybe it'll be a bonus episode though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but we'll put it up for you guys. I think you guys would like hearing that. And hopefully Zach puts together that video footage in his own time and you guys get to see that. We took some cool photos that hopefully Zach gets to do some things with. I kind of want my copies of that. I want to see those, dude. I'm really excited to see them. I fucking forgot. I wanted to make a new photo, a serious photo for Deep End thumbnails. And I don't know if any of those ones that I took apply because we were taking all these silly photos. Is there anything in there you can salvage for Deep End or no? Because none of them were behind green screens.
There's one picture where you look like a Ninja Turtle.
Why?
Because the face you're making, it's pretty fucking donk.
Okay, but it sucks because if I really thought about that, I would have actually made sure to be behind the green. You know, remember? Because did we say fuck it or no? Did we actually flip it?
It was just a black backdrop.
All right. So whatever, though, it was a great time. And hopefully you guys will be seeing more content of that very soon. I think we need to wrap it up, man. This commentary is running long. Fucking 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. It might not be quite that long by the time it's edited. You know, there's a lot of bullshit in there. But I will say the normal spiel. If you guys are on YouTube watching us, we appreciate that. Make sure you guys are subscribed, clicking the notification bell, sharing us with all your peeps, man. I want to make the rest of this year in 2020 the year of revival. I want us to spread out even more.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking die and then we're gonna need revived, is what he's saying.
You know what I mean, though? So, like, if you like our show, share us. If you know anybody that likes podcasts or likes stuff that we talk about, share us, man. Let's grow the family.
We know you guys are afraid to let anybody know you listen to this, but yeah,
I feel that.
Come out of there for a second.
I don't like to admit I'm friends with Zach. Trust me. I'm just kidding. No, but also, if you guys are only on YouTube, make sure you guys are going over and checking us out on all podcast services. We're everywhere. I'm not even going to list them all because we're everywhere. And even if YouTube is your poison of choice, go over there, show some support. Leave a thumbs up or a fucking 5-star rating or whatever the fucking system is on whichever one you choose. And if you want to go an extra mile, leave a short blurb, leave a nice comment or review. That stuff is going to go super far in the year of revival, as I said. Also, be on the lookout. I don't know if it's already live by this point because I haven't decided how I'm going to do it because this will be coming out obviously on a Wednesday, but we're going to be doing some giveaways, right? Some things to like pump up the social media and get a little bit more interactive with you guys. I got some cool things from the con, some little goodies that we'll be doing just friendly giveaways for to help get the name out there more, and a couple other. So I'll tell you what I got. I got like 6 or 7 really sweet ass art prints of your favorite horror movies. They're really fucking sweet. I'll just mail those out to people. We'll run a little thing. It'll be a simple little fucking contest. No big deal. And I'll get those out to you. I might do those spread out a little bit. I might do them between the different formats, between the Twitters, the Facebooks, and the Instagrams and all that stuff. But I got a nice handful of those, and those are pretty rad. And also, 2 things that I want to give away because I still got some in my possession. Autographed Night of the Living Dead 90 DVD.
Hell yeah.
Autographed by Tony Todd.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if Savini signed that or not. I think that's what we were trying to get him to sign when he was a complete asshole the first time. I don't know. I can't remember if we ended up getting it signed or not because that's when I sent my mom over to get it and he was a total fucking dick and a half. And so I don't remember if she actually did it. I don't remember. I'll have to look at it. But regardless, Tony Todd, he's the nicer of the 2 guys. Right. Mm-hmm. And Night 90 on a DVD. It's a fucking, it's a good, cool version of it. And what else do we have? Oh, we have a VHS copy. I think it's VHS. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think it's a VHS copy. It might not be DVD, but I think it's a VHS copy of House of a Thousand Corpses. And it's autographed by, I believe, Sid Haig and Bill Moseley.
Hell yeah.
Right?
They've had this shit forever to give away and just forgot about it too.
Yeah, I literally forgot about it. And they're both in pristine condition. The VHS box is like fucking candy. It's beautiful.
Better hope you didn't leave that VHS around a magnet all these years.
No, man, it's been up in storage. It's beautiful. I just checked on it. So anyway, guys, if you guys aren't already on our social medias, please search Revival House, Instagram, Facebook. Twitter is at the Rev House, right? We're going to be more active on there and look out for those because we want you guys to have some of this cool shit because I got to get rid of clutter. All right, that's all we got, guys. We'll be back next week. Adios. Bye-bye, puppets.
End of the week at the Revival House. Next month's theme, you gotta figure it out. Italian zombies or Pauly Shore, a slasher with a knife and the girl next door. And 1 second in, get it all queued up and ready, hit play in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye puppet, Zach Pete and a solo cut band. Couldn't miss Cameron's love and Josh Scott failed and Riverman's babe. Bye bye puppets. Sounds good, like this country used to.
The year of revival.
Oh, hey, this is Mr. P. Shivers. Now, I was just thinking a lot about, there's a lot of movies coming out right now, and I was just thinking a lot about those movies coming out right now. And, I was thinking about, oh, man, what was that movie called? I can't think about it. Oh, I think of the movie at the time. Yeah, I liked the movie. It was called, oh, wait a minute. I was just thinking about it for a second. Oh, I know, I'm kind of retarded. I'm kind of retarded. I know, I'm sorry. Let me think about it for a minute. I just, I'm thinking about starting my own YouTube channel because I got a lot to say, you know? And, I know I'm a little forgetful, but, sometimes I think about that movie. What was it called? I always do this. I always fucking choke when the time comes that I can fucking record on the GarageBand. I'm never as cool as Riverman. Oh, it's always, Mr. P. Shivers always fucked this up, man. The most recent movie I saw was, oh, God, I know I can think of it real quick. Oh, shit, I'm fucking this up. I should need to start over. Oh, my God. Oh, this is embarrassing. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm never gonna be part of the fucking Revival House if I can't remember what the movie is that I'm talking about. Oh, this is really embarrassing. Oh, oh shit. Oh, come on, guys. You know what I'm talking about, right? That movie that just came out. Oh shit, what's it called? Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. It's right there. I just can almost say it. It was so good, and yet terrible at the same time. I have a lot to say about it. I'm gonna, look, okay, here's the thing. Before this gets too embarrassing, because I know it's crossed a point of no return, I'm just gonna shut this down and just say, hey, Mr. P. Shivers is he's gonna be around for a while. So, if you don't like it, then fuck you. Because Mr. P. Shivers is a force to be reckoned with. And, yeah, I'm going to be a YouTube sensation, and I'm going to have my own YouTube videos, and, yeah, I just, that sounds really confrontational. I know, it sounds really confrontational, but I just wanted to say, yeah, it's going to be fucking great. It's going to be fucking great. Mr. P. Shivers, oh, shit. Watch out, motherfuckers, because Mr. P. Shivers coming for you.
Revival House. 2019, y'all. That sounds like fire. Like this country used to.